Ladies and gents, welcome to week number 2 of split number 2 of the Open Series. My name is Tony. I this week have Fru. I've got Fru with me, the duo. So, I mean, I say the duo's back. I mean, there's so many of us that are just amalgamating into
Yeah.
each other at this point, mate. So, I mean, I don't know if we are the duo.
We're,
Toby's
we're a
watching
duo.
this now.
We'll take that.
We are a duo. I would say that's
Yeah.
fair. But it's nice to have you back, mate. Of course, get
you.
alongside to cast with you once again. And I'm sure you did get a chance to catch the very first week of the Open Series. What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. 30 teams right off the bat. I mean, what can we ask for more than that? That's fantastic. New winners. Maradona looking fantastic. They came in, they slayed, they beat some fantastic opposition, and they were deserved winners. So be good to see if they do as well this week. More teams this week as well. So it's great. It's great. Love to
a
be
lot
here.
more teams this week, but of course we're not going to be going through every single game. Most of the rounds have already went on through. We are coming in at the quarterfinals, which will be best out of 3 onwards, and let's have a look at how the Open Series is actually breaking down to give you guys an idea, if you haven't been watching, how it does work. There's 10 weeks of tournaments with $500 on the line each week, and of course EGL RP. The reason you want EGL RP is of course to get up those leaderboards to get yourself a better seed for the Open Series split number 2 finals, which will be coming up in a day to be announced. We haven't decided when we're going to do it yet, but plenty of cash on the line in that one. $2,500 for our teams, of course. But some changes have been made going into this second week, and I mean, this is the main thing that we said, like right at the beginning of doing the first Open Series, is that we can change things if we need to. Of course, the Bull Talk and the Talon are sort of to stay in line with what's going on the other side of things, but we put out some polls through the week. Foundation was overwhelmingly voted yeses in. I've seen a few people query around, some of the other maps. It was only a very slight difference, and we didn't want to bring in like so many maps at the same time because, I mean, you don't have time to practice them, etc., etc. If we're bringing maps in, we need to sort of, it's a slow process, isn't it, through? So realistically, we can't do them all, but Foundation in, what do you think of the changes?
You know what? A lot of people were happy to see Foundation come back in. Myself, I hate the map, but everyone else seems to love it. So, you know what? It's a net win for the community. I think it's good to have an extra map in the cycle. We've got a little bit more variance in that pick and ban now. And from what I've been seeing on the stream so far, a lot of people have picked Foundation. So it seems to have gone down really well.
Yeah, it's a classic one, isn't it? I was thinking to myself, it kind of like the setup, and call me out if I'm talking absolute rubbish here. I was thinking it's very similar to Bunker, the way that the lanes sort of work. I don't know, like in my head, like you've got the up top, you've got the tunnel that goes underneath. It kind of just feels like pretty much the same map. I don't know. I know it's very different in a way, but I don't know if I'm just talking absolute rubbish here.
It's more to do with the sightlines. I think in general, I get where you're coming from. It has a bit of a Bunker feel to it, right, in terms of the routes and the lanes. But Bunker with those 2 side buildings, that's the real kind of the differential bit, in my opinion, right? Is those 2 high sides, because you can really start to pepper down from those across the whole map. So there are definite similarities, definite differences. I see where you're coming from.
I haven't got the chat open.
For me, though.
I haven't got the chat open, but I hope that they're roasting me for that one potentially. I was hoping you were just going to back me up, but it is what it is.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
But of course, these changes have now come on through. Changes will keep happening as well. Of course, when we were ready to change the maps over, we then seen the big change came over from the North American side, and we sort of won. We don't want to completely follow that necessarily, but we will give you guys the option to vote of what you would like to see going forward. We just thought it was maybe a bit too late in the day to change that much. Anyway, we've got the changes coming in. Let's have a look at what has been going on already. One of the bigger changes, of course, is that we went best out of 3 from the quarterfinals onwards, which meant that we've been playing these rounds throughout the day. 3 p.m. is when we started, and this is how we have it. Some very much expected results here. I know we have a result that is a little bit questionable, that is happening in round number 3, of course, which we will go on to discuss in a second, but nothing too surprising here, Fru.
Yeah, nothing really, to be honest with you. I'm looking through this. We've got the higher seed teams on the left from each of these matchups, and the majority of the higher seed teams won. Fire Breathing Ducky's doing well there to upset the seeds, but having looked at those 2 rosters, they're quite similar in terms of skill, those teams. So that was obviously just a map that went the other way. Across the board, though, Snub Dog did beat out French Fossils. That was quite kind of an interesting one for me. Love that name. Would like to say it on stream, so that's why I mentioned that one. But the one on the right-hand side that I want to point out, Chris, is actually Morningstar versus ODC Champs. For those of you that didn't see the stream, it was a pretty one-sided game, to be honest with you, but the return of Phelpsy, Incisive, Ash was really good to see. J Rage as well in that roster. They didn't do too well against Morningstar, but Morningstar coming in as that number 2 seed, I believe they are, no surprise that they're going through.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the boys aren't, they're coming back into a scene that has been, going on without them for a certain amount of time, and it's going to take them a while to get back up to speed, of course, and it's rough to come in with no seed because then you end up going up against one of the better teams. But let's have a look at the bracket, how it has developed. This is what we're going to be going through this evening, and there is somebody missing in here that we expected to be here. Elegance.
Yes,
Elegance.
Elegance.
To lose their game in round number 3 through.
I mean, you say managed to lose it. Looking at the stream, Chomp Chomp managed to win it. They were on fire. They really had their strategy down. They were playing Forge, and they made some really good plays to make sure that they won that map. They won it 5-3. It wasn't a close, it was a round 9er. It was a round 8, and the last push at the moment, at the last minute, it went 248 to 250, and they broke the ring right at the end. So Chomp Chomp making some good plays to go through. They deserve to be in that quarterfinal. It sucks for Elegance, but they didn't play well enough this week to be there.
Well, we'll keep an eye on how Chomp Chomp's going to be doing. That's not the game we will be watching in the quarterfinals. Of course, 3 series coming in, all best out of 3 for you guys at home this evening, and we will have another champion towards the end of the week. I mean, looking at this, though, it has to really be the expectation that we're going to see Maradona up there once again. They have to be the team to beat realistically, don't they? So interesting to see how they do once again this week. Look very, very good. Am I not seeing Morningstar Gaming here? Am I making that up? I'm not. Okay, all right.
They're on the right-hand side.
All right, so on the right instead of so where Maradona is, that's supposed to be Morningstar Gaming. Okay, so against veterans. Sorry to throw Matt under the bus on that one. He's going to transition to my full cam during the game where I just got my big white face in front of the screen. But of course, Morningstar Gaming will be on the right-hand side. We've got to keep an eye out for them. But Maradona, I mean, are you expecting to see them into that grand final again? We've seen a really good performance out of them last week.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to look at that first matchup, the quarterfinal for them. Grimy Soldiers, that's Syntax and the boys coming back. So, Danny Cruz is back, Straight Line's back. This is an old team. So it's good to see them doing well. They've obviously been practicing to get through to the quarterfinal. Do expect Maradona to win that, to be honest with you. If I had to put money on it, it would be their way. Semi-final against, one of Vi or Acee. Maradona, they're going to have a tough game there. And they'll have to play well. But ultimately, I think they've got, a good bracket in terms of their run to the grand final, and I could expect to see them there.
I think you've got to be looking at the other side, that Morningstar game, and might be the ones to meet them there. But, we never really know. We know in that matchup last week, it was 2-1 to Maradona, so we would be expecting a good grand final if we do get that one, of course. But there's still plenty of other good teams in here who could make it on through. But yeah, it was nice to see 4v4 back for me last week. I think that was my biggest takeaway of things over the course of the broadcast was how much the game is sort of, it slowed down. It has slowed down, and that's kind of what I feel as if the majority of the Gears community wanted through.
Yeah. From watching last week, I think it played so much better. We've got questions about, are some of the maps the right size still, but all in all, 4v4 really, it hasn't been as impactful in terms of the map size as I thought, which is great because then, we can get more teams in these tournaments. It's easier to find pickup teams. It's easier to establish and keep teams together. And, we get some really good gears out of it as well. There's more space on the maps for players to make plays and to, teams to form strategies. And I'm really loving it. I honestly am. I think it's a much better change. I think 5v5 does not need to come back. It's gone. It's out the window. And 4v4 here's to say. I think it's a really good change.
I think the biggest thing for me, the takeaway, was just a lot less frantic. Like, especially from a casting standpoint, I could actually break down the fights because there's not that extra body in there just to throw into the mix. Every other fight became a little bit more important as well, and it seems just a better balance. And I think it just has worked out. Not even just across Gears. Me and Toby have talked about this before. Other game modes, or other games, I should say specifically, like COD, that's moved back to 4v4. The game seems to play much nicer. I mean, it just seems to be the right balance for this sort of game. For a shooter game on a console, 4v4 seems to reign supreme anyway.
Well, not just a console anymore.
Well,
gotta remember that.
We
got PC crossplay on now.
Very true. Oh, look at that. He's plugging it for me.
One for Toby. He's not here. I got to get it in. PC crossplay. Hey, the boys. But yeah, it's definitely good to see.
Yeah, 100%. I do believe we are trying to get into this very first game. I do believe we are going to be going into the VUIE game, so that should be a good one to watch at least anyway. But just looking towards some of the other changes as well, of course, the Talon and the Boltok now able to be used. Of course, we did have some issues around that last week, but I think we were sort of just going with what was going on across the pond. But obviously, there was then a nerf that came through, but the rules hadn't been changed, so we were a little bit like, what do we do? But we were maybe a little bit late to the party on that one, but eventually we have now figured it out, and we have just re-enabled that as is mirroring over the other side, which just makes a lot of sense. At least it can be used now. It was just a case of putting them down, and there was players then using them in rounds, and it was like, oh my goodness, what do we do now? But here we are. We have now figured that one out. But as I said, as the weeks do go on, we will be implementing more of the polls, of course, across our social media. Please do follow at EGL if you want to get involved in shaping what game you are playing. We're very open to some things. I know there's been discussion around the respawn time changes. I know we sort of need to have a dialogue with the community on that one, I would say, and sort of figure out what the options are, because for me, especially looking at some of the replies on Twitter, I've seen like 15 different options at this point, and I'm just like, right, okay, what do we specifically want? And then we've got people talking about respawns. I mean, personally, for me, I don't think we'll change that, but I mean, at the end of the day, if the majority of the community want it, then we can change it. But I don't know. I quite like having the respawns gone now, because I mean, for me, it's one less thing to worry about, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's easier for us, right?
100%.
I think at the moment, we got to be careful about changing too much too quickly.
Yeah.
We said it about the maps, right? You got to give teams time to adjust, time to really understand what settings, what maps they're playing, and formulate strategies and whatnot for them. I think if we just change too much at once, we're going to end up struggling. As a community, right, just to keep up with the setting changes all the time. So
exactly.
I think right now, one change every few weeks is definitely the way to go. We don't need to be changing respawns yet. We don't need to be adding more maps yet. Let's see how it plays out. We're getting more teams this week, so it's obviously the changes have been positively received.
Yep.
I think we just we've got to see how it goes. See how this week goes.
I think it's been nice to see the influx of teams as well, and I was quite surprised to see we have more this week. And I think it's one of those things that the first week generates the hype and maybe it falls off, but the fact that we have more this week is fantastic news. I think some of the Gears community would have seen, this seems to be reviving a little bit. Let's get back in. We've even had Elliot Darko on the phone saying he's going to be playing in a couple of weeks. I mean, to be fair, he did say he posted your glasses that time, so whether he's actually full of or not is another thing. I would love to see him come back, and I will make sure that I was going to say we'll catch his game, but realistically he'll be going out in round number 1. So
yeah, we'd have to do like a primer show to catch his game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe just like a side community one. We'll get Toby to throw the stream up. I know he loves it. But yeah, it's just nice to see a lot of people coming back. Of course, Phelps and Co came back this week. Yeah. Phelps has been trying to make it on Call of Duty, of course. It is a big grind to make it on that side of things as well. But coming back into this one, going up against Morning Star Gaming, maybe that's a bit of a kick in the teeth, I suppose. But, as time goes on, I'm sure they'll get back to where they want to be. I don't think Morning Star would have been too happy that they would have drawn up against them, but dealt with them they did, of course, and will advance on. But yeah, just waiting to get in this very first game. But any other changes that we can sort of speak on through here? I'm curious, was there anything in particular the community was speaking about? I know there was the respawn timers, I know there was the respawns as a thing, full stop anyway. I kind of wanted to see where everyone thought on Gridiron over here, but at the same time, I know that it was a bit of a mixed bag. I'm still mega disappointed that it didn't come in. I'm hugely disappointed that we didn't get to see it.
I'm sure you've seen my tweets and stuff on Twitter, but I'm with you on that one. I think Gridiron would have been a great addition. Do I think it should come in? Not right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think the community, we've got a lot of things to worry about right now as a competitive community here in Europe, and adding another game mode isn't really a week 2 kind of thing. I think if the Pro League had gone that way, yeah, I think if the Pro League had gone that way, and we'd had that kind of, I guess that unity across all the regions, then absolutely we should have brought it in. But right now, let's just focus on getting our escalation game back up. Let's focus on getting our teams, solid, some competitors every week, and I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will be getting in this very first game very shortly. We are waiting on somebody joining the lobby still. It will be VYE taking on, I think it is Ace, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we will be going into that game. Should be an interesting one through. We've seen VYE last week do all right. I do believe they got through to the semi-finals, if I remember correctly. So, they are a good team. We are expecting to see them possibly advance on here, but I don't know if you have any other thoughts on this matchup.
No, I mean, I'm looking at the rosters. I'll run through them. Vision, Ricardo, Death Dancer, Warrior Gunners. Those names are all, staples in the community right now. We've seen, Warrior Gunners up in that pro league for months and months and months on end. He's a fantastic player. Good to see him on this roster. Other side, more pro league players. We've got Oxygen, Skills, Zorkos. They're both here. We got Para, we got Nestiques. There's so many good players on both of these teams that I think it's going to be a really good quarterfinal. And to me, these are the kind of teams that are they're just out of the reach, right? But a couple of good performances, we'll see them with a really good seed, a really good run, and these are the teams that, much like Maradona, have the opportunity to win this tournament this week. So, any team that comes through this quarterfinal, they're definitely a dark horse, but I think they're a contender for sure.
100%. It'll be interesting to see how they do. I know last week that they had a pretty good run of things. VYE, they looked good as well, and it was interesting to see if they are going to make steps ahead. I know, we weren't necessarily totally surprised that Maradona came in to win it, but we were surprised in certain respect. You look at Elegance, you look at Molten Star Gaming, those were the two guys we were looking at to sort of say, right, they should take it. I was berated on Twitter. We'll not get into it. But it's
ever so slightly.
Just I
think Toby got it worse, so you looked out.
I mean, he did. He did. I just palmed it off. I was like, it wasn't me. No, but at the same time, I think it's one of those things where you see Pains and then he's a fantastic player. But for me personally, there's other players around him. I don't know so much about them in that respect. But it was nice to see that team come in, and the way that they played against the two top teams from last season was what caught us off guard. And they just played fantastically. The gears that they played reminded me so much of how Rated R played. And it was it was fantastic to see. It's just super, super quick, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's the Italian way in general, but with Pains in there as that leadership, I'm not surprised to see them playing that way. And you know what? The other three players, Crisis, Marco, they're all good players. I'd totally be with you and Toby on the fact that I would not have put money on them to win. Would I have said they'd been up in the quarters, the semis? Yeah, definitely a good shot, but, they surprised everyone, quite honestly, and it was good to see. I'm not going to say much more than that. They deserve to win with their gameplay.
Well, here we go then. Into Vazgos, kicking it. I remember the time where everybody hated this map. I remember it. I remember it well. But here we are, first map. Of course, the pick and ban process has changed around just a little bit, of course, with the introduction of the new maps. But here we go. Ace against VYE in the very first game. And it should be an interesting one. I'm curious to which way this one goes. But realistically, I am looking at the side of VYE. Is that mixed up at the top? Am I making this up?
You are... VYE is Breaker and the Death Dancer and Co. So, no, you are wrong. That's correct.
You're wrong. You see, right, okay, I've had a long weekend. I've had a long weekend. I'm not trying... Right, okay, Matt, I'm sorry. All right, we're starting the game. We're starting the game. Ignore me. All right, it's Sunday. It's getting a little bit late. I've had a long week. We're going to ignore the first 30 seconds of that cast, and we're going to get into the game. Here we go. It's taking on VYE. And this map, I mean, how many times have you seen it? Very much about the rotation policy, which way you're going to go with your players, and which way are you going to try and force the other team on Vazgot. Yep. Seems to be a better start here for VYE, just ever so slightly to get C and B control. It's on their side of spawns, and it's been pushed back towards A.
Yeah, good start here. Good start indeed from both teams, actually, as they do kind of fight back and forth. If you can see, those points are pretty close, but domination for VYE is starting to tick. Skills trying his best. Couldn't keep his teammate alive there, and in the end, VYE look like they're just going to try and set up and play defense here. You see the B hill has gone the way of Ace. Ricardo doing his best here to try and find the kill, and Skills will get that right-hand advantage, will get that kill, and this hill is going to go the way of VYE.
Get a hold of it. Good rotation through. Getting aggressive over towards B as well. Ace are settling up. Ace seem to have been chasing their tails a little bit in this map, and it really can go that way, can't it? It can go over towards B, and then they've rotated towards A, and then once you go over towards C, they've rotated towards B. It can be a case of just maybe trying to catch them out with moves like this through the middle of the map. Vision does well, and Death Dancer on the other side of things. Gets a hold of thing. Couple of kills. Fantastic stuff. Skills now in a really bad spot. Can't find the gib. There's a kill onto him as well. Vision doing well. And they will be able to lock in B. There's potential domination taking in here from VYE now, but A has been taken by Ace. Are they going to be able to lock it in though? There's a 3v2 momentarily. They find the kills though and will stay in the round, albeit it's very much that win condition there. And coming up quickly for VYE.
Yeah, good Lancer there from Zorkos as well, but the points are all in... I don't know if it's VYE or Vi. I'm going to go with VYE, following your lead here.
VYE.
Yeah, well, we're going with that right now, as they do try and push forward, but you can see kills coming through here from Skills. Points, though, still with VYE. Battle going down on both hills. Points stop ticking for a second, and there is a big fight going on over at this B hill. The tank is where we're fighting. Zorkos gets one. Zorkos gets two. Can he get in the hill, though? He's not in the hill in time. It's going to go over to VYE, and it's purely because Zorkos decided to choke the neck and snap the neck off his opponent. Oh, the meat shield. That's a shame. Good work by Zorkos, but in the end, it's going to go the way of the Swarm.
Oh, that's a painful one. That is a painful one. Especially with how well he did there as well, but VYE get it. It was still going to be a tall order, wasn't it, realistically, but...
Yeah.
Just to allude to what Toby is saying in the chat, yes, VYE have changed a lot from last week. That's why I was getting confused, you see. Yeah, easy mistake to make. I can't even speak to... Through, cast on your own.
All right, well, we're on board with Vision going into this one anyway. One thing I do want to point out as we get into this opening round is just how the openings have changed. Since the CNA hills are already capped at the start now on the new tuning, we're seeing this 2v2 kind of develop, whereas before there was that little bit of a delay as teams capped up their own hill. You know, they had basically a 3 or a 4 push over this B area. It's now just a straight 2v2 every single round. This is a very interesting fight for me to watch. Really shows you who the duos are, right, in the teams as well. Who's working with who. Zorkos seems to have, you know, a handle of this area. He's getting all the kills. Ace with a quick round here if they can get this kill on Vision. Domination. Still ticking through, Ton. Going to be one more kill for Para. This is going to be it, right? This is going to be Ace.
That should be it. There you go. This is going to force them away. And a very, very quick domination comes through. 50 seconds is all it took for Ace. Good stuff, that. Just winning the fight over towards B when they needed to, and they already had A and C in their hands. Zorkos has been lighting it up every single time we've seen the game kick off, but Boltox have obviously been put down in the first couple of changes, of course, but now Retro's probably going to be placed either side. It wouldn't surprise me, or maybe a big juicy weapon in the middle. No, boring.
Just the Retros for now. Hey, give him a couple of rounds. It's still even. You know, no one needs to really, you know, test the waters too much. Round 3, we don't want it to go landsliding one way or the other. We want a close game, and I think the Retros for now they're enough. You know, the stopping power on them, you know, the damage that they can put out. They're good crossing tools, especially at the ranges that Vaskar allows as well. Like that, they're actually pretty useful. Quite like to see them used. Warrior Guns having the move back here. He's going to flash up here. Going to flash in for Vision. They're making a little bit of push around the back end of this tank. It's going to be a 2v2 here. Warrior Guns comes in with a flying shot there, but his teammate takes him out. Turn, and now it's Vision in a 1v1. What can he do here? He's going to try and take back the double boxes. Zorkos pushing forward again. Can Zorkos win it 3 rounds in a row? Yes, he can. Vision will fall.
Fantastic stuff, Zorkos. He'll once again get a hold of that B point, as you alluded to, having a good time around that. Ricardo coming round, will clean up onto one. Can he find the Steaks as well? Oh, gets the blind shot, but not going to be quite enough. And the Steaks will follow up and will go down because of that. That's now pushing through. Skills having to back on down. Good rotation here out of VYE. Got a hold of C, pretty much locking that one in. If it can get a hold of A here, win conditions should be with them. Wouldn't take much to take that away though. One big flurry of kills is all it takes. 149 seconds now ticks in for Ace yet. It's not a one cap. It will go down very, very quickly. Here comes the flash. Here comes the engagement. That's gets caught out a little bit in between there. What can Warrior Guns do to decide this one? Not quite enough yet. Skills now will pick up A. It's Ace in control now. Win condition of the minute.
Yeah, it was a nice fight that actually from Ace. If you saw in the minimap, actually, Zorkos, he had the, you know, the full kind of perpendicular angle there shooting across the middle, whereas Ricardo, number 8, he was sat behind the C team stopping that rotation, so he really couldn't help. In the end, it was, you know, I'd say 3.5 versus 3, but Acee come through with the win on that fight, and that's some good positioning from them.
Zorkos finding more kills.
Loving what I'm seeing from Zorkos right now.
Yep.
Loving it.
Very, very well. He's going to find one here over towards it. He's going to get his head taken off by Ricardo, who's rushing forward from the sticks. He's got him weak as well. Well played by Ricardo. Gets aggressive and needs to get a hold of A there. His team losing C momentarily. Here come the troops for Acee. Ricardo going to have to back on down or pull off. Not quite a miracle, but something a little bit special. Finds one. Isn't going to be able to find the second. They will clean him up, but looking for another here as well. Can't quite get the shots onto Vision. It's been a hell of a fight for A here. But it's still VYE in control. This will be a big gunfight. If Vision can win this one as well, and the sticks go down, Skills is back up. Skills is going to find the kill over to his teammate as well, and onto Vision. That's a big play from Skills. He will get a hold of A, but that's a big chunk of points for VYE in the past 20 seconds or so.
Yeah, they're definitely closing the point gap, but I'm not quite sure it's going to be enough just yet. Cog will win in 30 seconds, even with this one cap. The B hill is getting decapped as well. They cap this in. This will half the timer. 15 seconds. Acee will be 2-1 up. So let's see what Death Dancer can do about this. Trying to push down, gets forced backwards. Jump over the wall to the left comes through. Vision does fall. Death Dancer, the only one alive here at the B side. A is getting decapped. Death Dancer needs to do something big here. Can he get one? He does get one. Can he get two? No, he cannot. Para will seal the deal. In turn, we're going to go 2-1 up to Acee right now.
Good stuff from Acee there. Really good fight over towards A though. Back and forth and nobody able to really establish much control. Took a while to get that. But Acee winning the third round, 2-1 now. Weapon's going to be coming a little bit more prominent shortly. I'm curious if a second drop's going to be coming in looking towards some utility, or do we just upgrade this? Utility coming in either way. Incense over here and over towards the rivals, the exact same thing as well.
Not surprised, really not surprised that, you know, those zone denial tools, those incendiary grenades, they're really, really useful. You know, defense, offense, just cutting off routes in general, they're just fantastic tools to have. So both teams upgrading to those, no surprise. We'll see how they get used in these fights. Vision got them inside of VYE. They're going to try and make a bit of a bolder push round on the home side this time. VYE pushing 3 strong over here, so they will get that opening kill on Para. Acee getting caught a little bit off guard by the change of strategy there. But that B hill, that does go the way of Acee pretty straightforwardly. No pressure over there at all for VYE.
Yeah, I mean, Zorkos is over there, so they're probably going to win B. That's essentially how it's been going. Shots over here from Skills, though. Looking to push this long angle down this right-hand side. Not quite going to happen for them. Initially, Ricardo has had to back on down, though, but just into a better position for them here. You see there's 3 men from VYE over on this side of the map as well, and it's a bit of a stalemate currently.
Yes, indeed. Push is going to start to formulate here, though. Zorkos with those incendiaries has to land something here. Looks like he's looking towards Ricardo. Got to wait for his team to be healthy as well to act on the push, though. There goes the incendiary. There's the connection. Zorkos gets 1. Can he get the 2? He's got a little bit of damage down. Bit of help from his team. Will get that A cap in, and that's a good push once again from Acee, though. Do have to use those incendiaries. That's a tool they're not going to have for this next fight.
But it was nice to see them save it that long, if anything, though, wasn't it? You know, it was there and used effectively. That essentially opens up the ability to make the push over towards it, so nicely done. Vision is going to find a kill on the Para, though, and the rotation over towards B is going to come in here from VYE, but Acee already ready. Already ready. Oh my god. I need to go to bed.
We've got a few games yet, my friend. Just a few.
Jeez, yeah.
You know, for those of you joining, quarterfinals right now. See a few questions. This is popular in the U. Yes, it is. It's the resurgence right now. 35 teams in this tournament, 30 last week. It's growing week on week.
We're getting there. We are getting there. It's nice to see the community rallying behind the tournament, though. We'll keep putting them on if you keep coming. Don't you worry. Para and Kodo looking for an assault over towards it. Win condition for VYE of 20 seconds, and Skills not there to join the party either. Somebody's actually slept the net over towards B, but on the other flip side, you see that Vision is going to make the push over towards C. He's going to be able to break that, but is he going to be able to break it in time? Big fight going to be going on over there, but this fight that needed to kind of go towards Acee has not over towards A, so it's not going to really make too much of a difference. This should be the round of VYE. This should be us tied up 2 apiece. Caught up, should find that kill as well. Nicely done, and that will be the round 2-2.
Yep, good defense on both sides of that ring there. They knew they only needed the one. Bit sneaky, isn't it, hiding behind the wall, but, you know, needs must when you've got to, you know, claw back these rounds, and that was a really nice play at the end by VYE just to secure that one.
Just position himself well defensively through. That's all he's doing.
Exactly, exactly. It pays even more dividends, you know, on the new tuning now as well. It's a little bit less reactionary and a little bit more thoughtful across the board. Obviously slowed down a little bit as well, so can't just, you know, bounce your way out of any old situation. Got to make the right plays.
Good. But here we go then.
Boltock's down.
Yeah, Boltock's down on the side of things as well, so they're going to probably get upgraded, but they will be taking them as well. Of course, everything has now changed around. We just sort of kind of rotated clockwise a little bit with everything, moving everything around. Zokos caught out that bad spot for him to be in. The rest of his team on there to maybe try and potentially back him up. Vision, speaking of bad spots, yep, he's dead. Para's going to find him very, very easily. And we'll probably back on down. Boltok across the map, though, is going to cause a lot of damage, my goodness.
Yep. That's the power of it, right? You know, headshot connecting. So much damage. 48%, I think it is. At the moment. Might be wrong. Might have changed with the late tuning, but it's so powerful. And you see a lot of teams using it to really good effect. If you can manage that recoil, manage that bloom, so much damage you pulled out of that. And look at this. Good fight from VYE. Cleaning
Really
up.
nice
FL goes their way.
Yep,
Gonna get 2
really,
hills.
Really nice fight either side of it. Just well played. Zolkos and Code now trying to push back, trying to get F once again. They have E in their control. There's a good amount of players from VYE over towards this F site right now, but push coming through from Acee. They've just really forced them away. 1 kill over towards on the other side of things. Zolkos does go down, but can the resurgence come back here? Not seeming so. Looking like VYE are actually going to be able to hold this one. I think that was a 3v4 momentarily as well. VYE do have to drop back though, and the sticks man slipped the net. What can he do here? Good shots, but not quite good enough by the looks of things. He's surely going to get picked off. He does so, and D goes back over towards VYE, but let's flip it back over once again as it's that constant rotation on Vazgar. F now in the offing, looking like it's going to go over towards Ace. Win condition will be with that as well, but Warrior Guns & Co trying to fight back. The kill onto Para comes through. They'll get that back. Nobody able to establish like ultimate control here, but that's probably just Vazgar.
Yep, yeah, it is. It's one of those maps where, as you said, you chase your tail a little bit sometimes. You know, sometimes you're just a little bit behind the wind, and the other team seems to be every hill, you know, quicker than you. And it's just the status of the map, right? That's how it plays. It's totally different to a lot of the other ones we've got. Stark difference to Foundation that's just come in, right? It's very, very different. Good lance of fire there, Vision. Easy kill, really. Nestic shouldn't have given his life up that easily, but look at the point score. He's got to try and do something. In the end, VYE, 2 hills, 50 more points. They look like they're in a real commanding position to close out this one and go ahead.
This will be the first time they've been ahead since round number 1, and they will get it done. Best answer. Wriggling all around, getting the thumbs going once again. 3-2 to VYE. First to 5, of course, so 2 rounds away for them. Haven't looked towards the scoreboard. Zolkos, 12 kills, 5 assists, 10 deaths on the other side of things for Ace. Needs to arguably step it up a little bit more. Everybody else, though, just been the odd occasion where they've lost a big team fight and they couldn't really get control of that F site, could they? Neither team really could for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, to be honest with you.
It is.
It is a difficult one. It's so open, and you know it's straight off spawn. You've got that spawn protection kind of coming in there. You can kind of just reach the hill just with it. So definitely a difficult one. Inson's down, Retro's down. Seeing a 3 over at the E side from Ace. They're going to try and push up, but look at the damage on that Retro. Nestic's taking so much. And that was only a short little burst. Has the capacity to down a lot of people here. Incens are used from VYE, so Incens going to be used to stop that hill. We are going to see a lot of downs coming in. You can hear the Retro tick, tick, ticking in the background as it Lays down so much damage. There's one, there's two. This is going to be a cleanup for VYE, and that is the power of that upgraded Lancer.
Just very easy for them to clean up those kills once the damage was done. Para is going to get that. Just about. Have to step off their warrior guns, so the rest of the team are going to be able to make the push on through. They're going to be able to hold this one though. VYE, we're looking for the domination. It will do very, very well, but Zorkos goes down, as does Skills, as does Nesteeks, and this is just 2 players momentarily. Now everybody else here for VYE. Para pushes in and maybe just denying the inevitable this time around. It's not going to make a difference. VYE 1 round away from map number 1 win.
Well, they are playing well. Definitely stepped it up these last 3 rounds. A lot less sloppy deaths. Would like to see a little bit more on the side of Acee, actually. You see their death counts are so high in comparison. If we could bring up the scoreboard actually slightly at the start of this next round, it'd be good to see. Let's see what they upgrade though. As we see Ricardo hovering here a little bit. He's not really sure where he's going with this one, is he? Looks like it's going to be an upgrade on that retro. Shot grenade is going to get placed. More grenades on the map. Expect to see something similar on the other side. I think so. Ooh.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Are we going to see it? Are we going to see it? There goes the drop shot. That's an interesting one because, you know, the shot grenade's on the close side there as well. On the opposition side. So Acee saying they can win this without it. There's the scoreboard for you. 16 deaths, 15 across the board. Ricardo, Death Dancer. I mean, 12, 17, and 7. You can't really say much more about that. Ricardo, you have to get a bit close to the floor, my friend, if you want to tag that one. No tagging here.
Warrior Guns is going to go down. I mean, which side would you rather be on? Would you rather be on the side of Acee? They've got the cover up top. There you go. Answers the question. To be honest with you, you would rather be on that side. Drop shot now goes over towards Skills after Nesteeks and Co are able to just lance her down. What can Skills do with this though? Push over towards F is what's going to come through. Ricardo's going to go down. It's a good overextension coming through. How's it going to work on the other side of things? Warrior Gun's not quite able to get his shot lined up. Already going to have to back on down as well. Don't know if that drop shot is being used to a good extent yet. Nope, and there you go. He's going to manage to find one, and that'll do it.
Yeah, it's just the safe play, but you got to look at the points, right? I mean, for all of that, you had a drop shot, you had a big win. The points are still very, very even. And you know, you got to ask Acee really, have you got enough out of that fight win? Have you got enough out of that drop shot? And you know, for me right now, the answer is not really, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, they've got control now, but I know what you mean.
But that's not
you invest
that's not really from the drop shot or the fight win, right? That's from the secondary kind of engagement, and it's that kind of thing that, you know, that separates your top 2 teams, right, from your kind of 4 to 6 area. Just being clinical, just pushing a lead, right? You know, a lot of other games they call it snowballing, and it's something you can do with Gears in terms of, you know, moving up, grabbing position, grabbing next weapon. Looks like Acee have done well though here in this fight. Another clean there coming out, another kill there coming out from Skills as well, and they should be able to run this one down.
Looking that way. Moving over towards D. Respawn's now coming up. Marking up Zorkos, letting them know they're on their way. Which is this fight going to go? If you're a VYE fan, it has to go in their direction if they're going to want to win this round. Bit of a split here. It's not going to work out for them, or is it? Vision finds 2. Can he find anything else here as well? He's done well to bounce away. Is he going to be able to get Parrot? Slows the fight down as best he can, but he's done enough to keep them off it. But is he going to do enough to get this team into this round? It doesn't seem that way. Warrior Guns will not be able to pick up a great deal, and Acee will make it a 1-round difference. 4 to 3 now.
Yeah, I have to call out Para at the end of that round. Just saw his name kind of pop up every single kill. You know, helping with the downs, helping with the, you know, the kills coming through at the end, and really well played. Gets 3 for the kind of defense there, and yeah, Warrior Gun stat padding at the end, but it was pretty to see. It was nice. Shot grenades coming down. That's matched up now, so we do see VYE with the option now. They can either, you know, half or lock, or they can do whatever they want, really, right? They're going to go for the lock over on Ace's incendiaries, so still a grenade advantage here, Chris, and you know what, VYE should have it this time around. They've got that upside the taller side. If Ricardo can get around the corner, they might be able to get a bit of an advantage here as they look down over the top of the hill.
And they constantly are going to have a pick advantage ahead of Ace now, aren't they? That their drop went down, and I mean, Ace have just given it up completely.
Yep.
I mean, clearly they're thinking themselves with that advantage of high ground on the other side of things, it's a hard push to make. Now they're going to deal with a drop shot coming on through. It's going to find one. The Sticks is going to go down. Still be life in that one as well for Warrior Guns, I do believe. I've only seen one shot coming in. Making the push up though to help his team out. Parrot is going to go down as well. Good shots, and this is clean as a whistle from VYE. And the push over towards F, and they're going to continue over towards D, you would imagine. Warrior Gun's going to back on down just to make sure he does get a hold of that one. The Sticks is going to go down without finding a kill as well. This should be the round. This should be the map. And it will be VYE. 1-0 up. Good performance. I enjoyed that from them. I like to play it from themselves just to get a hold of that drop shot as quick as possible and just rotate it around. I don't know if I agree with completely giving it up like that if you're Ace, as you've just got to then fight in a sort of 50-50 battle with that drop shot potentially going to be coming through. So an interesting one,
yeah,
with VYE ultimately on top.
Yeah, you know what, VYE, they obviously had the advantage. They had more grenades there, they had the shock and the incendiaries. They had that, you know, the high ground there. It makes that fight so much easier. It's difficult for Ace to win that fight. So, you know, I kind of respect what they tried to do there. They tried to just force a quick play around the other side and at least try and drag that drop shot out and, you know, force some shots to be used whilst they've still got 2 hills. In the end, though, great shot grenade placement on the hill from VYE. Stops that push entirely. Drop shot rotates. Easy kills. And you know what? VYE played that really well.
Yeah, played it very, very nicely, and that's going to be a 1-0 lead in the series of this very first quarterfinal. Of course, we're jumping into the semi-finals as things do go on as well, and keeping you up to date with the other games that are going on. I'm sure everybody's already streaming it anyway, but we'll keep you up to date nonetheless. It'll be interesting to see what map number 2 is. I do believe we maybe have them here. Oh, we don't. We're not 100% sure yet. Okay, so we'll figure it out shortly.
Foundation is what I've just
Foundation.
heard.
Oh, it will be nice to go back to. I mean, I can't remember the call-outs for it, I'll be honest.
We'll get through it.
Thanks,
It's been
mate.
a while.
Guide me through.
But I'm sure I can help. Yeah, it's one of those maps, right? You know, I don't want to say it, but it's kind of like the gridlock. I think it's going to be one that's going to be here for a long, long time to stay. The community seems to love it. It works on a lot of game modes, and everyone's picking it now. It's back in.
Yeah, no surprise to see it coming in. It was one of the favourite maps, of course, in Gears 4. We have seen some other Gears 4 maps come in as well. I know that people are maybe wanting rid of some of them. I think I've seen Reactor come up quite a bit in terms of a map that people don't like specifically. I don't dislike it too much, personally, but I'm not the one playing it every single week. I don't know what your opinions are.
I absolutely love Reactor, so it hurts me inside to see people saying they don't want to play it. And what hurts me is that no one plays it. You try and get a scrim, people will end the scrim before they play Reactor. You play it in a tournament, people will ban Reactor. No one plays it, and then they have this opinion that it's not worth playing. And for me, I don't think we've given it enough time. But it's up to the players, right? If it's going to help increase the amount of teams playing, we've got to do what's best overall. But I don't think it's the right decision to remove it. Honestly, I think the American side of things were way too quick to remove it and bring Exhibit back, which is mind-boggling to me. I really don't understand that choice, but it is what it is.
I wasn't a big
we'll see how we follow.
But I mean, things have been removed very, very quickly before, such as we'll not delve into it. But I think we are nearly ready to get into the second map. I don't mind it. I quite like the interaction of having the button up top. I don't know. It's one of those things. I know it's a bit stupid at times, but I think it's definitely interesting. It's definitely an interesting one. I don't mind it either personally, from a casting standpoint and viewing standpoint. But we're nearly ready to get into Foundation. Nonetheless, I'm curious. I don't think anything would have changed with how we've seen it be played last time. Obviously in Gears 4. I don't think it should have changed, really. I
mean, the only thing we've got to think about is how it breaks down in terms of having 4 players, not 5, right? It's going to change it up a little bit that way. The fight in the middle still plays kind of similar. I was watching Morningstar play it earlier. They like to run, kind of 2 down middle, 1 either side essentially, and try and find the angles on the person in the mid box, and it seemed to work quite well. using those pillars as covers, it really hasn't changed all that much, to be honest with you. But we'll see how these teams play it, because it's different teams, right? Different players. They might have a different strategy, but it looks like it's going to be 2 down the middle from both teams, 2 pistons from both teams. No one heading that home street. It's going to be a big old fight in the middle.
Big scrap in the middle, as per usual. Are going to go down. It looks like VYE are going to come out on top of this one. Why do you hate this map?
I don't necessarily hate it. I've seen it so much now. Yeah, it's just played too much. Like it's one of those maps that I like a bit of variety. It's the spice, right? And for me, just seeing Foundation played so often, it just gets boring. But quite honestly, players like playing it. It's up to them, right? It's not about what I want to watch. It's about what the players want to play. So.
You not Mr. Gears EU? Or was that Toby?
I think it's Death Dancer now, isn't it?
That's
Mr.
very
Little
true.
at Gears EU.
That's very true. He's actually Gears EU. No, we very much appreciate what he does. He does try and get the community going around things, and always remains impartial.
Yep, yeah. And a good player in his own right? He's here in this game right now.
That's the one thing. I've obviously, I don't know his whole history, in teams, etc., etc. I just know that, he has been very active on Twitter as they're about to lock in this very first round. He's, he's active on Twitter. He's very much in there and in all the Twitch chats, etc., etc. And I see him coming out here, and he's got the hands as well. You love to see it.
Yeah. Oh, Rowdy's he's a grinder. Like he's played a lot of LANs. He's played a lot of events, a lot of tournaments. He's on the game a lot. And the guy can hit shots. It's a fact. Ask me 3 years ago whether I said the same thing about him, maybe not, but he's definitely improved, and his hard work is testament to where he is right now.
Bulltox down either side. No surprise to see that one will be built into something. And over to B once again. Players using this middle area to try and get the dip on them, if you like. And Zorkos is going to make that middle push. Skills is going to go around to try and help him, but he has already gone down. It just seems as if VYE have got the better of them here on these initials. 2 kills for Ricardo. Make that 3, my goodness. He just ran through them. Fantastic play out of Ricardo. And now A is in their sights as well. They're locking this one in. It could very quickly be 2-0 in this map. Very quickly 2-0 in the series at this rate. VYE looking ever so strong. Skills and Code trying to push through. Not going to happen. 2-0 to VYE.
Very, very quick rounds. 38 seconds on the clock on that one. And honestly, Chris, you're right. Could very, very quickly be 2-0 VYE at this rate. Ricardo 6-0-1 right now after 2 rounds. That's not bad to say the rounds have been, less than a minute basically each. Upgrade's going to come through. Maybe we're going to see those retros once again.
Yep, no surprise to see them coming on through. The one thing I don't like, do like about, the respawns remaining the same every single time is that every round sort of, at the beginning, you got those really long respawn timers, etc., etc. I always felt like that was a bit backwards. I don't know. I felt as if, well, I suppose with the weapon picks coming in, would you not have rather had, the time go up in terms of respawns rather than come down?
Yeah, so originally that's what happened. So it changed. It changed. Like the very first time we saw escalation, Gears 4, we had that. So it was quicker at the start, longer at the end. Gears 5 it switched over, and I kind of agree. There is some kind of theory behind it, right? Escalation, right? You basically saying if the respawns are shorter, you're going to get more action in those longer rounds, in those later rounds, because the players are coming back in and there's going to be more fights. It's going to be a bit more chaotic, and the action is escalating essentially. But the other side, right? If you've got less respawns or if you've got longer respawn timers, every death means more, and the actual intensity of the game, in my opinion, that escalates. So like it's I don't know what the saying is, but one of the other, it's like 50p of one and £2 of the other or something. I don't know what it is.
I don't think that's the same.
It's not that. I know it's not that, but you know the saying I'm trying to think of, and that's basically what it is in my opinion. Like I don't think it makes much difference.
I heard Matt chiming in. I don't know if he knows the saying.
I know it's not that. I can tell you right now, hands up in the air, it's not that. But It is what it is, isn't it?
50p.
That's what you're getting.
The other.
You know what? If you want full Saiyans, get Toby in. This is what you get with me. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Toby would know the saying.
He probably would. He probably would.
Gears related or Wales related, I don't think so. Probably won't. Either way.
Yeah.
Ace in control of this round, and it's probably the first time, but an overextension coming in from VYE over towards the seed point. They will lock this one in as well, but there will be plenty of people coming off spawn for Ace here. Just going to be able to hold this here. It seems a bit of a stalemate. We've come across. Same thing's happening over towards B. Nobody really making the move, and this suits the team who are in control. That is VYE. Ace are going to have to do something pretty sharpish. That lead is dwindling, and Cog team win condition will stay there. Especially if this fight goes in their direction as well. VYE are going to force Zorkos away, and they're going to force him back to the respawn queue as well. And then the break is going to come in towards B, and I suppose that's the thing. If you're Ace, if you lose it over towards C, you're in a bit of a precarious situation as the collapse can come on through, which is now coming in.
Good kill there by Warrior Guns. Yeah, Ricardo getting one, Ricardo getting two here. That's just gifted double headshots. Hello, VYE. This is going to be another round for them. Literally running into the spawner's vision. And you know what, Chris, 3-0. This is solid work by VYE. It really is.
It's really good, you know. When I was looking at the rosters at the beginning, I thought to myself, "Oh, okay, you know, I actually quite kind of fancy Ace for this one." But I'll tell you what, VYE have been doing a really good job.
Yeah, they have. They've also been gifted a few rounds, right? A couple of mistakes there, like, you know, Ricardo picking up double headshots, back-to-back headshots there. The second kill probably shouldn't have come in, to be quite honest with you. It was a mistake, a technical mistake, and you know, he picks up a double, easy round there, and that fight goes either way. This round's still ongoing, so I think Ace aren't, you know, doing the best to keep this as close as it could be, but you know, VYE picking up those kills, and they do look strong. You're right. Definitely going to be a good contender going through to the semi-finals if they can get just 2 more rounds.
Boom shot down. My goodness.
Chris, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
That's it.
That's the one.
Why did pennies come into this? That's what I was wondering.
Probably an accurate estimation of my bank account right now. 6 of one. Maybe half a dozen.
Let's see though. Looks like Ace managed to get something here at least, and no, it's a good drop shot actually by Mystiques. Warrior Guns, oh, there you go. He's got a boom shot. My gun's bigger than yours. My dad's bigger than yours as well. Warrior Guns now, what can he do? Absolutely nothing. He's going to go down. Absolute chaos at the beginning of the round. We'll have to see it. Zorkos pushing on through now. I mean, look, they've got everything on the map. Everything's there.
Loving it. Even you're getting involved with the trash talk. That's what I miss from LAN, you know. That's you know, we have to get back up to Blackpool one day and run it out at Norbrake. But
do we have to get back to Blackpool?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. maybe not the Norbrake, but maybe somewhere else. And you know, get these players on a stage and really see the emotions kind of run wild, because you know, that's part of it, right? That's part of Gears.
Yeah.
Everyone's very vocal in this community. Everyone loves it. Bit of trash talk.
Don't I know it? Sticks and code up. Let's see what they can do here. Ace not in the best of spots. Down 3-0. Down in this round. Don't have control either. It's a tough spot to be in here because they've got to make a push for something. And this is the thing with Foundation, that it's slowly, the cogs are starting to turn here.
Oh, Zorkos. Oh, he checked the corner.
Oh, he checked it, and Warrior Guns is going to go down. Pushes had to come through. Warrior Guns trying to hide out. Oh, Smoke's going to go down, and that's going to probably allow Roundy to get away. Oh, actually go down, so there you go. Good push coming in here from Ace as well, and I don't believe VYE will win on a 1-cap based on that. They won't. It's close, though. He's making the push yet for Ace. Looking to get this domination locked in, but where are the rest of VYE? It seems as if a push towards B is what's coming on through. Warrior Guns and Vision combining well to find Para. Swarm domination about to tick on through as well, but Vision is going to come in and finally pick this one up as Mystiques goes down. But as I said, 1-cap will not do it for them. They do need to get a hold of something here, and Rowdy's going to be making the push over towards C. Has some company now with Vision. Could do with oh my goodness, I was going to say they could do with getting rid of Zorkos, but my god, they've just peeled his head off.
Yeah, that's on a pike somewhere. Oh no!
Oh,
Para!
yeah.
Not like this. That's a choke. That's a choke. Vision with a boom shot though does go down. So in the end, it's all okay. 20 seconds on the clock. Para needs to find his way in. Death Dancer with a little bit of Lance fire to open this fight out. You're going to see Ricardo push up. Ricardo's going to get that kill. Cog team will win in 10 seconds. The kills are going all the way of VYE, and right at the end, Ace did their best, but it does look like Cog will have this in the bag if they can just hold on to this one hill at sea. Zorkos going to go down. Vision will clean that one up. The B hill will go the way of VYE, and we're going to see a 4-0 scoreline here, Ton. As this is going to be pretty much it for this round.
Looking that way.
Nothing at all Ace can do.
A bit more of a drawn-out round for VYE to take away there, but 4-0 now, looking a lot more polished here on Foundation. Look at Ricardo. 16 kills, 2 assists, 4 deaths.
Yeah, had a sterling game really, looking real good.
It's just there's so much on the map at this point as well, isn't it? Ball talks. You've got.
I mean, if you're Ace at this point, you basically just put something else down, right? Like just make it chaos. You're not winning the organized fights. Are you ready to kick some ass? Make it scrappy. Ricardo gonna go pick up those incendiaries from the fountain area. Little Lancer down bottom. Vision going to make the first move. He's going to take mid-box here. Zorkos tries to match, but goes down instantly. Great Lancer fire coming through. Vision, can he clean? That's the question. Gets one here, Ton. Gets two here, and that's fantastic from Vision. VYE, they want to win this 5-0. They want to be through to that semi-final ASAP.
Yep. It's looking good for them as well. The overextension comes through. It's going to take something for these players on Ace to get in here. Death Dancers are already letting them know about it. That is the game. 5-0. Clean as a whistle from VYE on Foundation. Really didn't take very long at all. And that's 2-0 in the series. And they will advance on into the semi-finals. Good performance. Really good performance. Ricardo just looked so strong throughout all of that. A really, really good performance from the squad. And very well deserved winners in that one for.
Yeah, you can't say anything about that performance, right? I mean, it literally was Ricardo with a huge old backpack just running through everyone, to be honest with you. 17 kills in 5 rounds. That's what you want from a Slayer of that caliber. And when he can show up like that, on a new map as well, they seem to have it dialed pretty well. With a lot of chaos, the boom shots down, there's a lot of incendiaries flying about, drop shots down. Credit to him. Credit to him.
Yeah, played it very, very well, of course, and interesting to see how far VYE will go. Of course, they will have a tough matchup coming up shortly. I'd imagine they're going to be playing Maradona in the semi-final, so that should be a very, very good game, but we'll keep an eye on what's going on across the board as well. We should have the bracket for you very, very shortly to see how things have advanced, of course, but still plenty more games to go. It was a good way to kick things off, but 2-0 for VYE. It's one of those things. I was expecting that maybe a little bit closer there, Fro. I don't know if you agree or not.
Yeah, I think so, to be honest with you. Foundation, for me, that should be kind of a close game, but it kind of looks like the teams who really know what they're doing because it's a new map, 4v4. We haven't really played it this way before. Teams who know what they're doing, they're doing real well on it, right? We saw MX, they look practiced on it. They kind of obliterated Phelpsy and co, to be honest with you, 5-1. We've seen the same thing here. Death Dancers team, they just look real good. Can't really complain about it. They look practiced.
Yeah, they really, really did. But we are now ready to go to a very quick break. Other matches are still going on through, so semi-final will be coming up shortly. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back when we have another game ready. See you then. Ladies and gents, welcome back to the Open Series. We're into the semi-finals. Apologies for the wait. We have sort of been just waiting for teams to finish off their games. We can't jump in like mid-map in some of the games. I know people are like, oh, what can you do? But I mean, look, we can't just jump in when the games are already ongoing, of course. So we have waited on games being finished and the lobbies being set up. This one's nearly ready to go, and we're going to crack on our hands here. We've watched MX now drop out as well here through. So let's have a look at the bracket, actually, just to refresh our memories of what has gone on and let you guys know what's gone on across the board. Morningstar Gaming, or MX, of course, went down to Black Hawk Down, which is, of course, Martian Cup. So they're going to be coming in against Tony's Emotions, and that's in the other semi-final. But in this semi-final that we are going to be watching this one. The other semi-final that's going on, Maradona versus VYE, that's already underway. But we are going to be watching Tony's Emotions taking on Black Hawk Down. Both very good semi-finals, has to be said. I think we have our favourites in both of them, though.
Yeah, I think so, to be honest with you. You know, I would expect Maradona to go through against Vi, although Vi have looked really good today. You know, they have looked good. We've seen them on stream. That they really took it to Acee earlier. So I would expect, you know, that to be a strong game, but I would expect Maradona to go through that side. You know, you kind of have to go the way of Black Hawk Down for the semi-final coming up, though, right? I mean, they're a really experienced roster. You've got Martian there. You've got strikers in there, too, that rated R team that, you know, came up out of nowhere in the European Pro League back when. And honestly, I think it's going to be a tall order, for Tony's Emotions here. They beat Chomp Chomp. Chomp Chomp did well to beat Elegance earlier, but honestly, I think this is going to be the kind of weaker side of the bracket filtering into the semi-final.
Yeah, you would think so. Looking at how things have played out, that does seem to be the case. But of course, they're probably going to be going up against Maradona on the other side of things. I don't want to discount, VYE on the other side of that matchup, but realistically, we do expect Maradona to be here once again. The game is ready. We are nearly ready to get into it as well. And Vasgar coming up first again. I think it's hard to sort of read into these teams and what maps you would favour for each of them so early in the season, if you like. Any particular way you would be leaning, though? I know it's a hard read.
Honestly, you know what? I think this will be a 2-0. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this will be pretty straightforward for Morningstar, for Black Hawk Down, sorry.
Yeah.
I can't say it any other way. I feel like I'm doing a disservice here to Tony's boys, but I'm sorry, but you know this is a real strong team on the other side, and Black Hawk Down, they're going to be here to win this. I think Vasgar will go their way, to be honest with you, and I think they'll come out 2-0. But you know, we'll see, Chris. Right? It could go either way. We've seen lots of upsets in the first 2 weeks already. Elegance obviously going down earlier to Chomp Chomp, and you know we've seen a lot of other strong teams drop out before this point. So we'll see how this one goes.
Well, here we go into Vasgar once again. See how Shadows and Co can do here, going up against Black Hawk Down. If you look at this roster, though, and it was Rat Kids R last week they were called. And of course, we have Cougars, Dragons, Martian Strikers. It's a very, very well-versed team, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, it's a super strong team, and you know what? They have the individual skill for sure to be able to go through on this. But you know, how can they translate that 5v5 prowess to 4v4? Can they do it? Right now, it seems like Tony's Emotions, they are doing pretty well here. They've managed to get a few kills on the board. Bang picking up Marsh here. We see Dragons noob rolling. Uncharacteristic there. Good kill from Cougars coming out. Beats his old teammate there, Shadows, to the punch. And looking for a second now as he's going to find that back A. Does indeed get it. Who can't back A on this tuning? That's what I've been hearing people say. Looks exactly like a back A to me, and it looked really well executed there. Close game so far, though. Only 20 points in it.
Yep. Chibuk making this push over to 1B. Second shot missed. Third is going to land and will clean it up. He is going to go down for his troubles, though, after missing a couple of shots there. Shadows coming in and answer back. No, he cannot. Marsh finding the kills here over towards B. Black Hawk Down in the lead and seemingly in control as well. C and B looking like it's going to go over towards them. Bert maybe chasing just a little bit too hard. And is going to get caught off with that one as well. But the revive comes through. Can he find anything on the back of it? He is going to find the kill on the Marsh after just about getting around the corner. But good play coming out of Cougars. We'll find the down and the kill. Still in control here. Black Hawk Down. Kills in their favour as well. Another one onto Chidwick. They're looking to make the push over towards A. Domination on the cards.
It is indeed. We're going to see that swarm win condition coming in, though, in 50 seconds if Tony's Emotions can't do anything about it. Bang's going to get taken down. He definitely can't do anything about it as he gets caught off guard. Dragons with that kill. 3 to his name now. On the defense here. Looking to defend this domination against Chidwick. Shot too early. Chid's going to get a rare opportunity to take a 1v1 there against Dragons, and take it he does here. Bert on the other side of things is in the ring, but He's face down, and he's going to get picked up, taken out, and sent back to that respawn queue as Strikers holds firm here on the B hill. C hill going the way of Tony's Emotions, actually, at the moment. No, it's not. Does get locked back in. Good kill coming in once again. Chid, he's always the man trying to find the opener. Can he get the steam train? No, he cannot. Gets taken out. And you got to think this is probably it right now for Black Hawk Down. And this first round, although 20 seconds away, seems to be fully under their control.
It's looking that way. C is all they need. Only 5 or so more seconds to lock this one in. Nobody around, so that will be round number 1 over to Black Hawk Down. Solid from them, just rotated where they needed to. Won their gunfights when they needed to. 1-0 to them now. Good round from Cougars there. 4 kills, 4 assists, 1 death.
Yep. Yeah, good indeed. To be honest, you know, that was a closer round than I was expecting off the bat. You know, no weapons placed. It was down to kind of teamwork, individual kind of prowess, and actually Tony's Emotions, they kept pace with Black Hawk Down for the most of it. You know, just a couple of key fights going the way of Black Hawk Down did turn around, and that's good to see, right? If you're Tony's Emotions at this point, first round, you're in it, your fights are going back and forth, that's good to see.
I suppose, you know, we don't see a great deal of... Not a shed load of dominations, I would say, on this map. I want to, from the top of my head, I'm thinking to myself, you know, a lot of it does go to points, and the majority of the time just because of how spread out it is.
You say that?
I'm
had to say that, didn't you?
I'm shaking.
Yeah.
It's not locked in yet, but it's about to be. We don't see that many.
Hill.
I would say we're maybe saying 1 a game, I would say, but looking like it is going to be in the second round, of course.
And that's your 1 a game right there, yeah.
Naturally, yeah.
You're right, though. You're right. You often see the rounds going quite far, and you know, if it is a domination, it's usually later on in the round as well, as a team gets kind of caught up. So, yeah, I think I
wasn't wrong. I just got proved wrong immediately.
You just had really comedic timing.
Yeah. Inevitable, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was.
Retro's down. Being placed.
Yeah, this is kind of like the standard placement, right? For Vascar, you see those retros. They go into incendiaries. It's kind of like your 1, 2, 3 for your first few rounds.
Shots coming in here by Shadows over towards B. They just didn't win the fight on either side. Obviously, there's 2v2s going on, basically, as we can see on the map in the top right corner. Shadows putting the shots in, and gets too aggressive, does Marsh. He's going to get found out. Shadow's going to find that kill and going to make the push forward, but on the other side of the map, Black Hawk Down found a kill themselves. Banged should be dead as well. Oh my goodness, actually that was a down coming through, but Banged will get cleaned up. The domination is potentially there, but Strikers would have to do very, very well. He'll do well to survive here, if anything. Should be able to pick up this kill, and does so, and they will be able to get a hold of A. They get a hold of B as well, so good start to the round for Tony's Emotions.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. They should be able to, you know, get this point lead back in a second. And Chid's going to get pushed though. One player from Black Hawk Down hiding out. Chid's got some good damage, but he puts himself in a rough spot here. And Marsh, he takes advantage of that. He's going to get the A hill here as his reward now. Dragons, you know, a bit of a 2v2 situation. Both Shadows and Dragons go down. Revive's going to come through. Shadows down again. Can they get the cleanup? No, they can't. But in the end, does clean up, but he's got to force this B hill fight. He can't lose this. Team will get dominated if he does. He's going to lose it. B-Hill domination is going to tick through. 4 seconds. No one anywhere near. Just like that. 2 in a row for you, Chris.
Yeah.
That's the majority of the rounds going domination. Just a heads up.
It's inevitable. Of course.
Of course.
Well, I mean, it just comes down to Black Hawk Down winning their gunfights, though, doesn't it? They've won them across the board and proven they are a very, very solid team.
Yeah, it's like in that tank fight, right? I mean, you saw Dragons, he went down early. He was the first one down. It's a 2v1 situation, and, you know, in that situation, they should be coming out. Tony's Emotion should be coming out. Shadows, you know, he's a competent player. He's a good player. He knows better than to put himself in a situation where he can just get 2 banged down. Like, you know, that's not how you play a 2v1. You know, you ask any 2 players in competitive gears to play a 2v1, they shouldn't be getting that close to their opponent, right? Like, that's just... It's silly.
I suppose,
So misplays on Tony's side, I think.
yeah.
As well as just keeping yourself healthy as well on Black Hawk Down.
For me, this split that we're seeing in the top right corner again, 2v2s on both points. Literally, you lose the first gunfight and you're in a really bad spot. So, yes, okay, Shadow's going to go down, as is Dragon's there. Marsh is going to come clean up. All of a sudden, it's 2v1 over there. So that's something that in Black Hawk Down, they should come out on top. They have come out on top. If you lose both of these fights on either side of the map, that's why the dominations have been coming through. It seems as if, they're splitting the resources. If they don't win the first gunfight, immediately they're in trouble. But I suppose, the same goes for the side of Black Hawk Down. You lose that gunfight, you're immediately in a bad spot. And that's what's been happening. The split, I don't know if it's necessarily working for Tony's Emotions so far. But no splitting here. They are making a solid push over towards it.
Yeah. The difference between the two teams, though, is that you saw it, right? When Black Hawk Down, they got the first down. They were quick on the mark to react. They got that cleanup. They got the revive, and it was an easy 2v1. On the other side, when Tony got the first down on Dragons, that's when it became difficult because they couldn't get the clean on Dragons. They took a long time. Shadows went down a couple of times, and that's the difference, right? That's just the difference in kind of cleanliness in the gameplay for these two teams. And Black Hawk Down, they're making it look easy right now. To be honest with you, 4-0. The fights are never in question. They're doing real well here.
Yeah, I don't think the my quote of "this doesn't usually go to a domination victory" can apply when Tony's Emotions are just getting outslayed at every single point. I feel as if I can be excused in this case.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember as well, right? This is new, right, to us. It's 4v4, not 5v5. Beforehand, you had that fifth player capping up the hills, getting the weapons, being slow, and after that, that initial kind of headbutt of the teams at the start, that backup player essentially could make that choice. Could he go left? Could he go right? Does he go down the center? And they can, they can force a fight with a numbers advantage on one side. So even if you're, 1-2v2 duo loses, that 3v2 on the other side might win. So there is that to think about. You're not getting a numbers advantage anywhere. It's straight 2v2s unless you choose to go into a bit of a 3v3. And this is what they've chosen to do this time around. Both teams going 3v3 down at the tank.
Looks like they may come out on top this time around though. Tony's Emotions in and around the tank. There's not been a favourable fight for them. Banged is going to get a win over on the other side of things as well. So E is going to go over towards the COG side and to Tony's Emotions now. So it's actually Chidwick who won that fight over there. Shadows made the push.
We've got power weapon down as well.
Yeah,
power weapon down. So we got snipe there on the back of Shadows. Connect. Shadows though, just a little bit too close. A little bit too close, and his team gets taken out here.
If you want anyone up close and personal, it's Dragons, isn't it? Dangerous, dangerous player at any range, but has to be said, when he's on his game, it's very, very difficult to play against. But here we go. E is looking like it's going to go over towards the side of Black Hawk Down. But it's going to get pushed out here by Marsh as well. Trying to stand the fight. Oh, he's going to take some shots from Chidwick. Still finds the kill. And the revive comes through as well. Chidwick has to back on down. Has to go back to F, licking his wounds. But there you go, on the other side of the map. Tony's Emotions want to fight over towards D. And now they're going to be able to make the push here. Dude, getting rid of Dragons, Shadows, and Banged. Can they do anything here? It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, in a 3v1, it's not really what you want.
Nope, not ideal. Strikers is going to find a kill here as well. And he had help as well from Cougars. They're going to get a hold of D. Swarm domination ticking in. Should be disrupted over towards F. It is Shadows now. Could do with winning this fight. Oh, gosh. Disgusting from him. But it has to be said, you would have liked to see that 1v1 on the other side of things. That's a 5-0 on Vazcott.
Yeah, that was quick. That was impressive. They look really good. Cougars there, MVP. Spanish flag in the background, no surprise. Good to see him back. Good to see him playing top-level gears again. And also doing very well on the scoreboard as well. 10-9-4. Very impressive. And, a 5-0 sweep. We said it was probably going to be the one-sided kind of matchup here. Black Hawk Down looking like the better team coming into it. But yeah, I'm not sure we expected a 5-0, to be honest with you.
No. Especially not on Vazcott. I think it can be one of those maps where you can snatch a game. Especially when I thought it was typically, very close rounds. And usually it is. It can be one of those cases where things go to a domination. But wow, I mean, that is very, very quick. Looking towards the other game, though, I do believe that is 1-0 to Maradona by the looks of things. 5-3 on Vazcott. They won their map as well. So It sets us up very nicely. We're sort of plateauing into it, aren't we? Having two teams doing well on Vasgar. I wonder if we'll see them up in the grand final if these two teams do make it through. But 1-0 in this game specifically now to Black Hawk Down. They looked very strong there, didn't they? They looked really, really strong. Just winning their gunfights out where they needed to. And it's hard to sort of pinpoint what you do for Tony's emotions here because if you're not winning your gunfights, it's hard to do much else, isn't it?
It is. They seem to do a little bit better in the gunfights that were, larger numbers. So, your 3v3s, you can have 4v4s, and maybe that's something that, you can kind of play on a little bit. But ultimately, you can't rely on that for 9 rounds in some cases. You have to be able to win these smaller skirmishes, and they just weren't able to be honest with you. I think sometimes, sometimes it was misplay on the side of Tony's emotions. Sometimes they just got played upon, and there were some fantastic plays. They were flashed up, double flashes, getting led on top of each other. Can't really do much about it. So, in the end, that's just good play from Black Hawk Down. There's not really much you can do apart from, back off, basically, and you give up map control anyway, right? So it's one of those things where they've given it their best shot. At the end of the day, you're playing some of the best players in the world, right? Like, you've got some fantastic strikers on that team. It's fantastic. Cougar's fantastic. Like, there's just so many good players on that team. Yeah. It's not really worth me calling them all out because they're all of that standard, and they're all top players in the world. So can't really be too upset about that. Going into map 2 anyway.
Yeah, looks like we're going into map 2. Actually, the game between VYE and Maradona is apparently 1-1 according to Mystique. So if we could just get an actual full-on update of definitely what it is, but it looks like it actually is 1-1 between those two teams. I was thinking surely they're further than map number 1 at this point. We've been waiting around for this game for quite some time. But we are heading into map number 2 in this game. We are going to be going over towards Foundation. A lot of teams playing it, as said. But it was actually Asylum went 5-3 over towards the boys on VYE. So 5-3, we're heading into map number 3 in that game, and that's where it's spot in the grand final. I mean, it would be a turn up to see VYE in there, wouldn't it? I mean, for all that we were surprised by Maradona making it to the final and going on to win it, it would be a bigger surprise to see VYE doing that as well.
Yeah, it absolutely would be. But we've got to bring ourselves back to reality, and we're looking at a different game. Black Hawk Down, Tony's emotions. We're here on Foundation once again. Seems to be a very popular pick. Now it's back in the cycle. That came in for this week only, so we're going to see how the players do on this one. Looks like first kills over to Black Hawk Down. Seen a good push-up. Smoke grenade used there from Cougars. Not something you usually see, but they're opting to take a different loadout. And in this time, they're just blocking the vision there, right? Blocking the vision of that Lancer. Pushing up on it. Cog trying to dominate here. Good kills coming through. It's all about this tree fight now. Cougars against Shadows. Shadows doing alright. Gets back aid. Can Bang do anything about it now? He's in a bad situation as well. 3 versus 1. See Black Hawk Down go through. Of course, that's a quick round.
It is. It feels like Tony's emotions are quite outclassed here, if anything. I don't want to put too much of a dampener on things for them. They made it to the semi-finals, but the difference in class here looks pretty significant. It has to be said.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you got to remember, Dragons, he's been getting even more experience than the majority of players in the EU, having been out in Latin America, right? He was out there playing up in the Pro League for, the Latin America Elevate team. So he's going to come back on fire as well. I'm sure he's raring to go and raring to win some tournaments.
What happened with Dragons, though? Because he was over there, and as far as did Elevate drop out, or...?
Yeah, they did. In the end, they didn't get the placements they thought they'd get, and, 5v5 switched to 4v4. Someone had to go, right?
It's easier to get rid of the one who isn't from there, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, the whole team kind of got picked apart a little bit. And in the end, he's back here and he's playing in EU, which is only good for EU, right? Having that talent kind of come back and showing kind of everyone really worldwide that EU does have some solid talent that can make it to Pro League in America and Latin America as well. Yeah.
I think one of the great changes I was speaking about Toby about this is this game continues and Dragons keeps going. Strikers and Co playing well here. One of the great shames is that we never got to see that Rated R team who beat Elevate in that grand final get a chance on the international stage together at that point. It would have been super interesting. I know, of course, COVID came into things and that was obviously an issue, but it would have been fantastic if the Pro League had continued and we got to the point where events were back. Had we seen that team continue to develop. where they would have been in the grand scheme of things.
Honestly, I think they'd have won a major. I say this. I do. Yeah, I actually do. The way I saw them play when I went to Mexico, and I saw them play, they'd been together a few weeks at that point. You know, they didn't have much experience together. They didn't have much Pro League experience together, and they absolutely battered Estral. You know, it was what, like 10-1 or something across 2 maps. It was a ridiculous performance, and then they went on to play the eventual winners of the tournament, Reciprocity, and they took them right to the wire. They went map 3. They beat them 1 map. The next map was super close. They made some fundamental mistakes, which actually cost a 2-0 victory to Rated R. And honestly, if they'd have beat Reciprocity at that point, they'd have probably gone through and made it to the grand final that event. And that was after a few weeks, right? That wasn't like their final form. So I honestly could see them in the final. I could see them winning an event. They were that good.
Super entertaining team to watch as well, and Black Hawk Down now. Finding the kills in the mid-map here as well, of course, there's an accumulation on that former team here, of course. And they're finding the kills they were momentarily behind, but it's looking like they could go 2-0. But it's an interesting conversation to have, and it's a conversation we'll never have the answer to, unfortunately, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But maybe, you know, maybe in the future we'll see some 4v4 lands, and maybe these guys can get over there.
Just get me back to land full stop, mate, at this point. I miss seeing your face in person every week at the studio.
I know. It's a long journey for me now, though.
Oh, God, me and you both. Anyway.
Maybe we just, EGL studio in the north?
Yeah, most of us live up here anyway, at this point. Come on, Matt. I know Matt wants to move up north. He's not against it. Well, actually, this is looking like a round 2. Tony's Emotions just about finding these kills over towards the home points. Dragons, is that going to be enough time? I don't think it will be, although Cog Team win condition comes on through. Yep, it will not be enough for Tony's Emotions there at all. Black Hawk Down. Just find the kills where they need to. That just too much of a lead in the end of the round. I know we weren't really concentrated on the round, but it's nice to have a conversation about something else, you know? Everybody can see what's going on. You don't need me to talk you through it. Although that's kind of my job, I suppose.
Kind of.
Yeah, but we're just here to discuss about esports as well. We could talk about it. Let's have the conversation. Everybody in the chat, do you think that Rated R, and we're talking Rated R who just beat Elevate, do you think that they could have went on to win a major? That could be a conversation we could be having in the chat right now. Because I don't want to just, you know, completely get Tony's Emotions in the sad column here, to be honest, but it's not looking good for them so far in this game.
It's not. They are, you know, they're learning a thing or two, that's for sure. Whether or not they're going to learn enough to win this map, maybe not, but for next tournament, you know, it's all an experience, right? And that's what it's about, and look of an experience. Look at Dragons go. That's beautiful. Some lovely gears from him. So fluid. So slick. Good round coming in from Black Hawk Down here, actually. Domination is going to tick through, I think. And yeah, you can see Tony's Emotions. They're not getting to that ring in time. We're going to go 3-0 up.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit slow for them. We could be getting the grand final coming up pretty shortly at this rate.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, it'd be good to get an update on the other games. See if the score there is being reported anywhere. But this one looks like it's pretty much concluded in terms of eventual winner, right? Black Hawk Down looking fantastic.
I know Death Nancer was streaming, wasn't he? As far as I'm aware.
Quite possibly. Long shot going down again. Maybe some headshot potential.
Long shot in the middle. Still in the first half, so nothing changing around quite yet in terms of the capture points. Fight in the middle here though, and it just seems to be Black Hawk Down winning this every single time. Bang, just surely going to drop again. Yes, he is, and that's going to allow the rest of the team to push up. But they probably weren't expecting Chidwick right in Dragons' face. Very well played. Probably best to try and get away, but the rest of his team are here to support as well. See, he's in their control. Nice break from Tony's Emotions there.
Very nice indeed. Chid's going to get this one down, and Tony's Emotions will start to take the lead if they can just cap in one more. Bert trying to make his way over towards the Piston side of things. Swarm Domination is going to tick through in just a few seconds. Anyone there to stop it? Cougars is, in the end, they're not even going to push. They're trying to bait out the snipe shot. I can respect that. You know, that's a nice play. You don't know that snipe's looking down that lane, right? And you just kind of up A into it. You take the headshot. In the end, Shadow's not able to find anything. But let's see what he can do with that sniper. I think he's going to be one of the players to kind of open things up with. He's just trying to make his way into a position where, you know, he's able to find a headshot. But right now, Black Hawk down, they've done the right thing. They've rotated the opposite way around, and now we're looking for headshots down through open. Shadow's going to have to support the fight going on here. And he should be able to get the decap, actually, as the 2v1's getting pushed. Headshot coming through. That looked like it connected, but in the end, it's just the shoulder. Nice down coming through.
Oh,
you got to think Cougars probably should have died there.
Yep. He definitely
probably
should have. Oh dear. That is...
Yeah, that's one of those 99%ers. You thought 83% were bad. Oh, wait till you get a 99.
That's got to be so close, hasn't it? But I mean, that was potentially a winning opportunity for Tony's Emotions, although they may still get themselves on that win column. Cougars waiting, ready for the push to come through. They need to do something here. Black Hawk down. Not looking good in this round for them so far. 100 points down. Swarm win condition of 20 or so seconds, and Swarm kills coming in. That is going to find one of the strikers. They're pushing for the domination here as well, just to add to the pain. Dragon's going to push through the smoke. Should be taken down. Is Marsh going to be there to do anything about it? Even if he is, this round should be done, and is done. Tony's Emotions down board for the first time in the match.
Yeah, nice to get around, and actually they did that in real good style. Like what I saw there. Some good slaying coming out. Good work on the map. Finding those 2v1s, they did well. And you know what? Actually, the snipe going down did play in the favor. You know, Shadow's got hold of that. He got a lot of damage down with it, and in the end, led to quite a lot of extra points.
Looking towards the final map on the other side of the bracket. On Bunker was one apiece. So a very close game between Maradona and Death Dancer and the fellas on VYE.
All right, let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah, very close. Kills a pretty even spread. Looks like it's going to be a close game, that one.
2-1 now to Maradona. And that map number 3. Plays in the grand final, of course. We've got 10 weeks to play, though, so we've got plenty of time for variety to come through, and if we're going to have it in week number 2, that just gives me more positive to lean towards. I want to see teams competing. I want to see different teams competing every single week. And it's good for the community as well, I feel, to not have a team that is just so dominant. Because for all, I want to give huge props to Elevate and what they did in years in Europe. It was fantastic to see how dominant they were. Speaking of dominant, looking like Black Hawk Down might be able to lock this one in. They will 4-1. For how dominant they were, it can sometimes be a bit boring when teams couldn't get anywhere near them. Yep. But now the fact that we're there, and it seems as if each week, I mean, Elegance, who won the grand finals last week, didn't even make it to the quarters. Now you've got Maradona, who won last week, or 1-1 with a team who, as far as I'm aware, didn't make it to the semis last week. So I think it's nice to have that disparity. It's nice to see teams maybe changing things up, but, as the rule set changes, maybe it benefits other teams. Maybe it doesn't benefit some other teams. It's one of these things where, the competition is developing each week. Something different. Nice to see.
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. It's great to see for Europe as a whole. Lots of teams up at the top. Lots of close competition all the way through.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. We've got more numbers this week, I think. Because typically when something starts, that's when the hype is, and more people come in. And then sometimes it can, filter down a little bit. But not this week. Not at all. More teams than we had in week number 1 is a good sign. It's a very good sign.
Definitely, and that's props to everyone on Twitter and Discord and everywhere else, just kind of sharing, sharing the links, sharing the information. Everyone's showing up in the chat today as well and watching the stream. It's all good, all good. Lots of old players coming back as well. I've heard some names I've not seen in a long time playing this weekend, so good to see. Very good to see. Good kill there by Marsh. Dragon's getting taken out there as well. We'll make things 3v3 for a few minutes.
Strikers and Co. trying to get themselves into this grand final. Oh no! Oh dear. Oh, Strikers isn't going to continue, surely. Banged. Oh dear, he's dead as well. My goodness, Strikers.
Yep.
That first one was
part of
disgusting.
That last kill where he just kind of pipped him on the side of the cover. That's part of the new beta tuning update, right? There's no real forgiveness anymore. If your body's on show, you can get shot, and a lot of players still adjusting to that. making sure they're in the right position. But in the end, Cog's going to win it. Cog's going to go through. Black Hawk down 2-0. So that was pretty straightforward there for Black Hawk down.
Very straightforward. Very, very straightforward. And it's going to be a cracking final, whoever they go up against, 5-1, and they look like the wind is well and truly in their sails. My goodness me, that was very, very quick and a very, very good game out of them. That's, I mean, when they came in last week, we said that, this team, as time goes on, will get better. And I mean, it took a week and they already look really good. So it's a scary prospect, a very scary prospect for everybody else who are lingering around right now towards the top. But my goodness me, that was as convincing as you possibly could have liked. I would have liked to maybe seen them against NMX, etc., who could maybe potentially have done something. But
yeah,
I know we got to see the back end of that one, and that was a lot closer game than what this one was. But maybe you would have expected that later on in the tournament. But as time goes on, things will balance itself out in terms of seeds and whatnot. We'll see these games later on in the tournaments, of course. But there you go. We have our very first grand finalist. I'm keeping an eye on what's going on in the other games. 3-1 to Maradona now. So that one's getting itself going. And once that one is done, we should have a grand final.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, Maradona looked to be doing pretty well over there, and you mentioned actually, the teams, the seeds will kind of start to settle a little bit, and we got to look at these top 4 teams. The seeds coming into this: Black Hawk down, seed number 6. Maradona, obviously number 1, they won last week. Tony, seed number 7. So they were a decent seed, and VYE seed 4. So out of the top 4, only 2 of them were predicted to be here. So that's got to be good news, for the competition. And I think throughout, there's going to be quite a big mix-up in the seeds coming into next week.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go for a quick break. We're going to let that other semi-final get itself done, and we'll be here with the grand final of week number 2 just after this. So here we go then. The grand finals of week number 2 of the second open split here on the EGL channel, and once again I have Fru with me. And this one should be a really, really good grand final. We don't have anybody who was in it last... of course, we do have Maradona in here who went on to it. Sorry, I'm completely confused. Fantastic start to the grand final. But we have Maradona who were here, but against a team who were not last week. Of course, we got Marsh and Co., got Marsh Dragons, etc., going up against Maradona who went on to win it last week. Fru, we got a tasty grand final here.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, Maradona, they're looking to prove all the people that, called them out last week wrong, right? They're going to try and do it 2 on a bounce. And I know there was a lot of, back and forth on Twitter between, a lot of the players and the guys on Maradona. And they said, watch us, we'll do it again next week. And so far, they're living up to their expectations. They're here again in the grand final. This time, a different opponent. Tougher opponent? Quite potentially, right? I mean, Strikers, Dragons, Marsh, Cougars looking to dethrone the Italians. They're going to come in hot. They absolutely destroyed their semi-final opponent. I think that's fair to say. And, we're going to the very same maps again. So they are going to be warmed up. They're going to be ready. We're going to go to Vascar. And, Maradona, they've got definitely a very, very tough opponent ahead of them if they want to win this tournament.
And I don't think Maradona have done particularly well in Vascar so far today. And we've seen that Black Hawk down. Had a really fantastic time last time around. But let's see if we can have a very good grand final. We don't want to whitewash. We want to see some good gears. And it's a very...
We do indeed.
Very stalemate-y kind of start.
Well, this is kind of interesting to me. Because if you remember the game previous, Black Hawk down, they were down, by this tank. They were making that fight happen, right? That 2v2 happen. And they were pushing around the back of the tank. This time around, their opponent... They're not coming to fight them. They know that they're a good 2v2 duo. Pains and Co, they know they don't need to make this first mistake, and they're quite confident that the team on the other side would have won that. But as soon as the fight on the opposite side starts to go the way of Black Hawk down, you can see this push coming through from Maradona. Pains finding that opening kill on Dragons, his old teammate. And now they're going to push through, but Black Hawk down, 2 hills to 1. They've done well on the opposite side, and it's going to be on the Swarm to really make this comeback.
They've held on to seeing it. It's very much something we see quite often. It sometimes feels like B is just on its own separate island, doesn't it? It's just a case of getting hold of it and then making the decision of where you're going on the ARC. Pains up, trying to make the push through, and something that was so good about Maradona last week was their slaying ability, but they're going against a team who can really do it against them as well. Dragon is able to find one at the Marco, but is now making the push up towards Pains, who's just going to get aggressive with the flash in hand as well. Doesn't land it and has to back down. It's still not a bad spot for Pains to be in, taking a lot of damage, and he's not going to land the shots, and he is going to get caught out. Maybe a little bit overzealous from Pains there. Is going to go down.
I think so.
Black Hawk down in a really good position now.
Good kills by Strikers coming through. Strikers just fall low to Marco. Can Marco get to the tank? No, he cannot. Dragon's going to clean that up, and B-Hill for the time being will stay in the hands of Black Hawk down, but the push is on the opposite side. We've got a 2v1 over towards the A-Hill. Looks like we're going to see Cougars here trying to defend. Flashbang doesn't go out in the end. There's the second flashbang coming out now. Bounce is trying to push around, trying to find that wrap shot. Can Cougars get anything? No, he cannot. Pains takes him down. The push is still on. Rated R versus Rated R here as Pains tries to find that up A. 3 pallets hit. Not quite enough. Strikers will fall, get taken down by bouncers, and A-Hill going the way here of Maradona.
It's looking good for B as well. Potentially a domination being locked in here from Maradona. Not going to be able to quite do it. Marsh is there to delay, but is anybody up towards A to try and stop this happening right now? B is actually going to go over towards Black Hawk down nonetheless. Black Hawk down still in control of the round, so to speak, but the win condition, of course, with Maradona. If they can make this push shortly, though, that win condition will go back over towards Black Hawk down, but Cougars is going to go down, and push is going to have to come on through. Marsh is going to get the double down on the Pains, and will find the pick-up kill as well. Strikers finding one of his own. They've lost B in the process. Win condition still with Black Hawk down. That might change, and probably will change over to Swarm. It will. Marsh is here, though, to decap C.
Yeah, that's a crucial decap.
Yeah. Not registering there for Marsh, but this is a big, big fight. Strikers and Marsh both going to go down. This is going to be enough for Maradona to win round number 1 by the looks of things. Nobody extending over towards B. Dragons can do very, very little. Nice kill there. But he's in a bit of a bad spot. But the overextension over towards C. What's happened there? How has somebody managed to make his way over? It's through the middle. It's going to be Dragons, but it was actually Marsh, and he is going to go down. That was all riding on that. If you're Black Hawk down, and you are down 1-0, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That was a long round.
It really was a long round. And you know what? That rotation round at the end there, it really did save Black Hawk Down's, round, essentially. Maradona, they were on that win condition. They pushed a little bit too aggressively from C. They didn't need to go get that A hill. They just pushed out really aggressively. Left that C hill completely, completely unguarded, and a sneaky little decap that looped all the way round into the spawn of Maradona. Managed to find the way through, and that's it, Chris. That's it. That's the round, isn't it? It's just like that. It looked like it was all Maradona, and Black Hawk Down, they come through and they take it.
It was close all the way through, but it did seem as if Maradona were going to get the win there. But yeah, the decap working out.
Just reading in the chat, it looks like it was actually a down, Chris, that they didn't clean up.
Oh, they didn't.
Marsh was able to.
Oh, and he was still alive.
He was
I
able to
didn't
stand
even notice.
Yeah, I thought he'd got cleaned as well, but a good play from Marsh off the back of a bad play from Maradona is going to cost him.
Hell yeah.
Dragons and Cole though, making the push over towards 8. I can't believe I didn't even notice that. I mean, I just presumed everybody got cleaned up.
Well, I mean, you're not the only one. Maradona did too. That's going to cost him. New round, though. New round, and they're up 70 points to 60 right now. Marco is going to find a fight here against Cougars. He's got a little bit of backup, keeping his distance. I like this, but here's backup on the side of Black Hawk Down. Dragon comes in with 2 big shots. Going to get the second headshot coming down. Dragon's down. Striker's still up. 1v1 situation here, as we do see Cougars get the clean on Pains and Cog. They're going to find the domination, and just like that, 2-0.
Black Hawk Down looking good on Vazgar here. Maradona did lose as far as I was aware. Or did they actually... Hold on, I'll double check this. In terms of how they did... Actually, sorry, they did actually go on to beat VYE on Vazgar. It was 5-3, but it's still a close game nonetheless. Struggling here against Black Hawk Down, though. It's just coming down to those crucial moments. It really should be 1-1 if you're Maradona. You should have been able to lock that first round in, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you know what? I want to just pick a point about their last game on Vazgar, actually. It was a 5-3 game, against VYE. Looking at the kills and assists, we saw Crisis with 23 kills, 11 assists, and 9 deaths, right? We saw Pains with 20 and 13. Like, these guys were putting in some serious numbers, and the kills on the opposite side were nowhere near. 14, 13, they were the top 2.
Still 5-3.
Deaths were way higher on value. Yeah, it was a in terms of kills, it was a very one-sided affair. But the round's still very close. So that says to me that they're not really playing this map as well as they could be. They're finding good fights, but they're being put in situations where they've got to find many more kills to get rounds under their belt.
This might be one of them as well. They're going to have to fight up from the back, but Strikers and Cougars combining well. There should be a domination being locked in. Nobody going to be able to get there towards B, but my goodness, how has Bounces managed to even make his way through to that? It should be done, but no, that's actually given enough time for his teammate to get over towards B. It's going to be Marco locking this one in. Very surprised to see Bounces manage to make it there. I was just going to presume that they were going to lock him out, but walks through, gets a kill on top of that as well. It's allowed C to be a little bit more contested. Dragons is going to win the fight over towards B though, so that's back in their hands now of Black Hawk Down. Strikers just trying to slow them down at C, because this lead, although it's not insurmountable, it's a pretty hard task for Maradona to even come back if they can get out their spawn through, which is the problem right now.
Oh, it's so difficult. I mean, even if they do, they're in such a rough position here, aren't they? 100 points down, over 100 points down, and how many times do we see teams come back from that? Not often, so the question really is on Maradona's shoulders right now. Can they really find a foothold in this map? Can they find kill maybe on Dragons here as they push in 2v1, but they've not checked their corners. They're going to get cleaned up for this, and this is a huge mistake here coming in from Maradona. You have to check your corners at this level. People are going to catch you out, and Dragons has played that very well. Strikers finds 2 on the other side as well, and Black Hawk Down trying to put a bit of a mark on this game as they're trying to go 3-0 up here. 210 to 70. Domination, going to get locked in. Hardly ever see dominations on Vazgar, but Black Hawk Down, well, they're proving you wrong.
Can't wait to get Toby back next week.
He can come in now if he wants.
What, for me?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I'm quite surprised that Vazgar made its way through here. I really am. Like, Maradona had a close game with VYE, but Black Hawk Down pretty much smoked their opponents in the semi-finals on this map specifically. So it's interesting to see this one scrape through once again. Well, saying that, Maradona will probably look at it as well. We won it in our semi-final, but...
Yep.
I think
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be a map that everyone's comfortable, right?
But some teams definitely seem more...
Slightly more so.
Yeah, some teams definitely seem heavily more versed on it in terms of how to play it. As you said, the slaying department isn't necessarily the most important thing on this map.
It's not, but it's it's where the kills come in, and kills like that double from Dragons. That was, in terms of technical skills, it was pretty much a no-skill double kill, right? Like, he just walked up behind two people and shot him. It was about as easy as you can get on Gears. But the knowledge that, a team's going to try and rush down, and they're going to see one person, they're going to try and push that 1v2, keep himself hidden, like, that kind of thing, that really just, pays dividends on Vaskar. And you can really find some big leads. It's not easy to cut through the middle. On most maps, on Gears 5, you see that middle route being a very prominent option. A lot of teams go for it. Vaskar, how many times do we see teams, pushing hard through the middle? Virtually never.
Strikers and trying to lock in A here. Kills going in their direction as well, and really this has been impressive for Black Hawk Down so far. Big fight going on towards B as well, which once again has went in their direction. Former teammate Pains is the only one who can do anything about this, seemingly, and he's dead as well. The pressure going to be coming in over towards A. Are they going to be close enough to stop them? Yes, they are, and that's another round to Black Hawk Down. This grand final has been lopsided so far, 4-0.
It really does. I mean, if you're Maradona at this point, it's going to be a real tough comeback. They've got to do a lot more. We can see Marco at the bottom. He's getting picked apart right now. 1 kill, 11 deaths. Can't really say much more about that. On the other side, it seems a little too easy for Black Hawk Down here on Vaskar, right? We've got to look forward. It's a best of 3. We've got Foundation coming, potentially Asylum coming as well. That's kind of where you're looking if you're Maradona right now. Yes, do your best right now. Yes, try your hardest to reverse this, but 4-0 down, it's a very, very tricky situation to find yourself in, especially against a team of this caliber.
It's been difficult for them. It really has. Pain's trying to lock this one in over towards E. Of course, we have flipped the points around, rotated them around clockwise, so to speak. Pain's going to lock in E, but they need to find some kills here. Do Maradona. I'm interested to actually see the leaderboard at some point, maybe even after this round, irrelevant of which way it goes, just to get a good distinction of how it's went. But Marsh looking for a double here. He's going to find it as well. Vintage Marsh, that. Fantastic stuff from him. He's going to lock that one in, and E is the only thing that Maradona have to hold on to now, and you can imagine the utility's going to come out, and you can imagine the push is going to come in from Black Hawk Down. Oh, good shot by Cougars. That should be Pain's gone. Really, really well played. Thankfully, they are still fighting for D. Maradona still trying to lock this one in, but can Marsh continue to control this area of the map? He's got them both very red. He's got one dead. His teammates are here as well. That should be game. That should be set. Oh, Pain's got something to say. Those Strikers goes down.
Yeah.
That might give enough time for his teammates to get in here, but is it just denying the inevitable? It seems that way. Bounces. Not close enough. 5-0. Map number 1. What a performance from Black Hawk Down.
Yep, fantastic performance there. I mean, Marsh coming in as, your kind of leader there, your MVP as well for this map. 5-0 though. I mean, MVP, it's got to be all of them, hasn't it? Look at the scoreline here. Marco not doing too great, but on the other side, you got to look at Marsh, you got to look at Pains leading the way for both their team. All X-rated R members, both doing very, very well. But as a unit, as a team, Black Hawk Down, they look like the real deal. They look fantastic.
They look very strong. I think when we looked at them last week, it seemed as if there was some polishing up to do. Their run has included MX, and now they want to 0 up in the grand final. This is a team to look out for the rest of the Open Series. Absolutely, they look very, very strong. Maradona looked fantastic last week against Elegance in the grand finals, but right now, faltering just a little bit. I just don't think that Vaskar is a great pick for them. For me, it just exactly what you pointed out there. Even when they did go on to beat VYE, which, with all respect to VYE, is a game that we expected Maradona to go on to win. they still had to slay out heavily to get it done, which, as you mentioned, it sort of reads into that game of, do they really know how to play Vazgar in the correct way? Are they making the kills in the right places, etc., etc.? That first round immediately would have put them on tilt with the fact that Marsh is able to decap. That ultimately leads to the round win.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the worst way to start off your grand final from just a morale point of view, right? Like you're going into the grand final, you're currently the number 1 seed, you're the best team going into it on paper, and the first round you almost clinch, you almost play so well, and you almost steal it from a very, very strong opposition, and for you to lose that based upon one of your mistakes, a mistake that is super fundamental.
Yeah.
You know, like it's really, really like basics. You know, make sure that we've cleaned all the kills. That really does sting, and that's got to, you know, it'll cause infighting between the team. You know, did you not clean him? Did you not clean him? I can't believe we lost that.
Exactly.
It's just a tilter, right? It's a tilter. So, you know, going on to Foundation, got to look forward. Forget that map, because, you know, from the get go you were doomed to win it, really. With those kind of mistakes, and you kind of got to go forward and hope that Foundation is a little bit of a better map for you.
I just have a feeling that they didn't watch the other semi-final. I know they were ongoing in theirs, in all fairness, but I mean, Black Hawk down 5-1, was it, on the second map as well? So I mean,
it was.
Look, it's a very, very different opposition, and you know you got to play what you're confident in. But these look like two very, very good maps for Black Hawk down as we head into Foundation in just a second. But that was very, very clean. It was very, very clean, and in a similar way to how Maradona kicked off their grand final last week against Elegance. Super clean on training grounds, looked very, very nice. Surprised not to see training grounds in here, maybe, you know. Vazgar, I'm not 100% sure who picks map number 1. I presume, well, it would have been technically seed number 1 usually gets the first pick. Although I suppose it depends in terms of what team they pick, etc., etc. But to let Vazgar go through, maybe not necessarily something to do in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe try somewhere else, right? I mean,
could have just been a bad performance, I suppose. But
it could have been, but I think you're right. I think try something different, right? You know that Black Hawk Down are very good at it. You know that it's not worked. Let's just try something different next time we come up against them. And you know, I think all the teams are trying to get their Foundation picks in now, right? Like it's new back to the cycle. People want to see it again. People want to play it again. So I'm not surprised to see that, you know, being a really popular pick this week. That said, not sure it'll be as popular next week, because a lot of the teams who will have just, you know, been battered on it throughout today will probably think, maybe it was just looking back with, you know, some rose-tinted glasses on that one. Yeah. And we'll go back to Forge or whatever.
I think, to be fair, a lot of teams will have obviously probably scrimmed it a little bit towards the end of the week. You know, we released these, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday. It's a case of trying to get some practice on it on a competitive level as well, though, isn't it? Scrims are only, you know, a certain degree of level of serious. However, you know, these are a little bit more serious. So there's definitely more on the line in this case, and I think, you know, getting some competitive practice on it as well is probably a good level of discussion for these teams to be making, and that's maybe why we're seeing it a lot as well, as you said. But then next week we may well not see it very often if it hasn't gone well for some teams in particular. But we are loading into Foundation. Let's see how it does go. It needs to go well for Maradona if they want to stay in this grand final. I honestly, like, when we see Vazgar, I definitely leant towards Black Hawk Down, but I didn't envisage a 5-0, if I'm honest with you. So I'm interested to see if they can pick it up here in this map number 2.
Yeah, me too. And we're about to get into it. First round underway. Foundation, grand final time. Second map, Black Hawk Down up 1-0. Last time they were on Foundation, we saw them really utilize those smoke grenades to make some fantastic pushes through the middle, make some fantastic pushes across the top. We're going to see it in return this time around as Maradona. They're going to fake the mid push and then go up top. Try and make that push across the top bridge here with the smokes.
Trying to make the push through the smokes, not necessarily ideal. Marco's going to walk through. And the thing is with that one, if you're pushing through the smoke, it's just going to be preempt. It's only a small area for Black Hawk Down to have to cover, and there's a few of them there. It's an easy kill for them to pick up, and they push through, and A's in their sights as well. Domination could be ticking through.
Yep, that was some SSG plays, some snub smoke Nasher plays there. Smoke in front of you and run through it. That doesn't seem like the best strategy. Cutting off your own vision before you make a push, but Each to their own. It seemed like they wanted to try it. Black Hawk down, though, trying this domination. Bouncer's getting one. Bouncer's looking to get two as he's got some good shots on Dragons, but Dragons delays the shot. He's got some backup. Cougars in. No one around for Maradona. And the Black Hawk down, they're going to start up where they left off the last map. 1-0. Quick fashion. Very easily done.
Very, very easily done. Looking dominant from Black Hawk down here. And for all, you know, we said Maradona was so impressive last week. It was nice to see a team throw their hat into the ring. Black Hawk down look equally as impressive this week against the same opponent. And again, I just, you know, I'll say it again. It's fantastic for the scene in the sense that if different teams are winning each week, it shows that it's competitive at the top level. That's what we want to see. Maradona, though, we want to see them pick it up. Yeah, try and get back in this game. We want a competitive grand final at least.
That we do. That we do. And you know what? Maradona, they're going to try and absolutely give it to us, right, in terms of making it competitive. You can see the push coming across the top again, but the rotation coming through here from Black Hawk down is just too quick. This is why teams favor that mid push. It's so difficult to make this push to, you know, a right hand, left hand. It's such a close quarters fight that you can get so much damage down. Just, you know, two players holding it, and you can see right now Marco's down. Pains is having to back off. He's so weak as well. Fight down bottom. Crisis is going to find a beautiful little shot there. Can he get second? That's the question. No, their roll is not really going to help him out. Oh, yes, it is. I take it all back. Strikers loses his face. Black Hawk down, going to lose the B hill. That was a nice play from Crisis.
Very nice play. It was a play that they needed as well. They did get C back, but B control is paramount too. Big plays out of him, first kills of the game, and finds them in an important manner. Marsh making this push over towards A as well as Black Hawk down looking to try and get back into the game. The scores are pretty level here. He's going to start making the push though. Marsh is going to be forced back because the smoke's there, so he knows he has no cover from the mid. And, well, to be honest with you, cover in the mid is there, and it's finding the kills there as well. But Pains finding a kill up top as he pushes on through. Marsh goes down, former teammate. That would have felt nice, but the first kill on the board for Pains in round number 2 is coming maybe a little bit too late as Strikers and Co. now making the push for B. They've got C locked in as well, although...
Yeah, that's not a bad trade actually from Maradona. No, what they did is they left the member down at the B hill just to delay a little bit, and as Black Hawk down pushed multiple members down into that Pistons area, Maradona did the split and managed to find this home hill capture, and you can see now they've got the A and C hill. They're going to have to try and defend. Pains, though, just not respecting at all that spawn protection, and you saw that flash grenade come through that as well, just kind of sealed the deal there. Marco's going to fall as well. 2v4 situation right now. This makes it hard to defend. You can see the push coming through B hill on the minimap as well. This is going to be a bit of a collapse coming through on Black Hawk down. Payne's having to try and defend his E hill, his A hill, sorry, C hill. I'll get it right eventually against 3 players. And it's just not going to happen, is it? Nope, not going to happen. So much damage coming down from Black Hawk down. That was really, really nice play.
My God, Black Hawk down are looking very, very good right now. Just outslaying, which is a surprise to see considering Maradona looked so good last week. And we've seen their slaying game was top level, but Black Hawk down just adding another level on top of that right now. 2-0 up, 1-0 up in this series. They are 3 rounds away from taking away week number 2 of the second split here.
Yeah, they've just got the depth though, right? Like Black Hawk down, you know, they might be similar in terms of kind of slaying potential, you know, with Maradona, but when you look at the actual, you know, the teamwork, the rotation, like everything is just, you know, playing pretty much into their hands right now. They've got foundation down. The smoke grenades are, you know, well placed. They're, you know, pretty much ahead of the game as well, right? They're often making the first play or at least finding the first kill. You see Bouncer's going to go down here. Marco's going to have to back off, but Dragon is just trying to make the aggressive play up mid flank. Will get taken down for it, but down on the Pistons side of things, there's another fight going down. This one looks to be going the way of Maradona as well, as Crisis picks up another big double kill. Marsh having to run off there. We will see this B hill go over to Maradona now, Chris. And actually, you can see a push coming through now from the blue side.
Yeah, Marco is there to decap at least, but he is going to go down for his troubles. Looks like Black Hawk down are going to be able to fight their way out. We can see Maradona now in the top right corner, backing on down. Marsh making his way through, just checking his corners where he needs to as well. His B completely free, looking that way, and they've actually pushed over towards A as well. Domination could lock itself in. Maradona, though, have overextended towards C. That's why nobody's left there to defend A, but Crisis is going to go down in mid-map here. Blackhawk down in a good spot, although down in this round. Dragons will follow his former teammate down as well. Marco's going to follow him as well, though. Kill's been traded
just...
on
the spawn on the other side.
I know. I mean, what is going on here? Are they going to be able to even find the kill on the Cougars? Yes,
well,
they are. Look at them all.
This is the issue. Yeah, this is the issue, right? We had Dragons die, and then Maradona pushed into the spawn, and they kind of knew they had a little time window to try and find a kill there, but in the end, Spawn Protection Dragons is definitely not who you want to be fighting, and he's going to find 2 off the bat as he spawns into this round. Crisis in a rough spot here. He's going to get taken out as well. See the Lance Fire going to come through. Dragons will clean that one up. Blackhawk down, they do so well in just making sure that they never lose just too many players. That's the difference right now that I'm seeing, is that when they're in rough spots, Dragons, he managed to trade out 1 for 1, right? 3v1, he gets 1 kill. When they're in bad spots, they manage to run off. They manage to find their way out. Make their way back into spawn if they have to, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to stop the bleed of team members, right? They're trying to make sure that they've always got 2, 3 members alive at all times. When Maradona lose 1, we have to see them lose 2, 3, 4, and that's how quickly it is for Blackhawk down to just pounce on the remaining members.
It's a Cog team win condition, though. Although I believe it'll be relatively slender. We'll just take a decap or so. Blackhawk down up by 20, although that is slowly ticking on down. Dragons really in a bad spot here. Pains will quite happily clean that one up. This is looking good for a round for Maradona. Marsh down as well. Nice. Pains just cleaning up ex-teammates here.
He's got to do it. He's the one on the, he's the leader essentially, right, on this team in terms of the kind of skill level. He's got to reach a level where he can be going into those 1v1s and, backing himself against the likes of Dragons, against the likes of Mark. Like, he has to be able to do that if his team wants to come out on top. And right now, he started to kind of ascend a little bit towards that level, but he needs his teammates to follow him there, and he's not really getting that just yet. But as I'm saying, that Maradona, 14 seconds away from winning here. If they can clean Cougars up, this will be big, but Cougars is going to get the decap. He's got some backup as well in the form of Marsh. Marsh is going to get 1. Marsh. He's going to get taken down. The cap's going to come back in, and this should be a Cog win condition, even if the B-Hill goes the other way.
Should be. I will be. Yeah. Just a little bit too far. We'll be a couple of points out, about 5 or so by the time we got there. But Maradona are on the board. A lot more to say about this map than in map number 1 specifically. But that's a lot better. They aren't grinding out, but there we go. They're getting there now.
It is, and I've just seen the scoreboard. I just saw Dragons is up to 14 kills already. We're 3 rounds in. That's a decent average, to be honest with you. 4, 5 kills a round, and that's even with a round loss as well. That's some good going. So Maradona might want to try and shut him down a little bit easier. Right? I am noticing on their side there's not quite as much crossfire coming in. There's not quite as much teamwork as we're seeing from Blackhawk down. There's always someone lancering, and actually at the end of that round, Maradona started to pick that up. They were finding kills. You saw Pains pushing across top bridge, finding those those downs for his teammates to pick up, and likewise his teammates were helping him do the same. And that's what we need to see more of, that kind of Maradona, because that Maradona can compete with this Blackhawk down team.
Good lance of fire coming down here from Dragons, and also, of course, Marco. Smell that mid control. Who can find the first break, and then usually you see the team who loses the member just disintegrates a little bit.
Sneaky rotation coming around here. Cougars has found his way all the way around the back of Maradona, and he's got that bolt off. He's going to put it to use. It's like the Wild West out here. Big shot as well from Cougars. Can he find 2? Yes, he can. Great little shot, and that's beautiful, isn't it? Clean up, my friend. Clean up.
And they seem to be, well, they were winning the fight down low, but Pains and Crisis have come back and found 3 kills of their own. So for all of the good players by Cougars, he can't help his teammates out over towards B, and Cougars actually may well go down for this one. He will. Good shots by Pains. And just good play by Maradona there. Backs against the walls for just a second, but they come up clutch with the kills.
Oh dear. That's going to be 2 kills going the way of Blackhawk down as Crisis and Pains fall. Bouncers has been spotted out. Marsh knows. Flashbang's going to go. Bounce has to back off here, and he's going to take that T-shape. See if he can defend. It's going to be rough, though, because you can get shot over the top of that from the Pistons wall. See the damage kind of come down. Marsh is going to get that kill. Bounces finding himself in a bad spot, and that's the bleed that I'm talking about. You saw Pains go down in a rough spot. Crisis couldn't get the, the pickup, but he stayed to try and trade himself out. But knowing Pains is down, why try and trade that? Just run off. Just go back. Go back to your team. It's only 12 seconds on the respawn. It's quick respawns. No lives to worry about here. That should have been some communication coming through, and Marsh is going to pick up 2 as well, and this could be a real turning point for this round in terms of just getting this locked in for Blackhawk down. It's been back and forth, but Marsh has found a 3rd, and he's on a rocket, isn't he? He's just shooting for the stars here as he kills everyone.
Marco tries to get aggressive, can't clean up one. Pains is there to eventually get rid of Marsh, who has been the thorn in their side the past 30 seconds. That win condition well and truly with Blackhawk down here in round number 4 though. Pains and Co need to get going. I don't know if a 2 cap will be quite enough now. I think it'll just be a little bit short. Let's see, it's about to tick in. Swarm win condition of 32. It's still there. Blackhawk down. Should be able to lock this in with the hold it in. We can see they're setting up for that now as well. Each kill is so important. If you are on Maradona. A lot of damage going down to Strikers though, but he's getting 3 shots in here without being answered back from. Marco's going to make the push, but Bouncers and Marco have done so well over towards A. The domination may well tick in. What's going on over towards B? The fight's being won by Crisis. A domination coming in from Maradona out of absolutely nowhere. 2 apiece, we're going to get him.
Yep, we do indeed. They had absolutely no right to win that whatsoever, and those clutch kills coming in with just seconds to go. Fantastic. Across the board, I said everyone needs to follow Pains' footsteps. They all did that just then. Crisis has been playing fantastic. We saw up at that, the home hill, a lovely win there as well. Fantastic play from Maradona. And now it's up to Pains to pick first. He's got to lead the charge into this weapon pick. Going to upgrade that Boltok to a Hammer Burst. Are we going to see something similar on the opposite side? We are indeed. So we got Retros, Hams across the board. No big weapons down just yet.
To think we've come to this.
Dragons of Koba looking so good. Maradona. They fought back in a different kind of way. It hasn't been slain domination. It's been gritty from them. They've ground out these 2 rounds, and all of a sudden, we very much do have a grand final on our hands, but Blackhawk down. They know they very well could be 4-0 up here.
Oh, absolutely.
Will that disappoint?
Absolutely.
I mean, will it disappoint them? Will it encourage them?
I mean, you got to look at this roster. I mean, it's not a team that's not faced losses before. A lot of this old rated R team, right? They kind of faced Elevate. They got battered around for a split or so, and they came back real strong. So, I honestly don't think losing a couple of rounds is going to tilt them. But if they lose this one, maybe. If they lose this one, they're still drawing. They're not behind. Set up as well.
Crisis.
Kill by Crisis. Can he find another double kill? That's the question. He's got someone behind him as well. This is a rough spot to be in. Don't think he's going to be able to survive. He has got a teammate. He finds the headshot as well. That is big. That is bigger by Marsh, though, as he comes through and gets a double of his own. Secures the hill. And that's going to be a lot of points going the way of Blackhawk down.
Might be more than points here. Are they going to have time to get there? Yes, they will. Bounces is here. Marsh is just trying to defend on his own. The flash in, though, it's going to disrupt things for him. He will go down, and D will go back over towards Maradona. Blackhawk down, though. In control. There's a lot of running got to be done by Maradona now to get back into control of this round. That lead is climbing for Blackhawk down, but Crisis just seems to be clutching up when he needs to for his team. We talked about Pains, he is really the talisman for this squad, but Crisis had a good week last week. He really did. And he's really come up trumps every single time for this squad when they have needed him. Not necessarily putting down a huge amount of kills, but the kills he have found have been super important. Pains could do with finding this one up top, though. His team in control now. D&E is in their hands, but Pains staying alive will be beneficial towards them. Just stuck between a rock and a hard place there, though, as Strikers and Marsh will clean him up. But Cock team win condition is there. D&E in the control of Maradona. Blackhawk down. Still with stuff to do. Oh, Marco.
Yeah, Marco, you got to hit some of those shots, my friend.
Marco.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, he picks up enough damage, but now he's got another member. Perhaps that could have been a bit quicker last time. If he'd have just hit a few more shots. Reload coming through. Marsh going to clean him up. 220, 165, swarm win condition. Marsh will find another big brick there as he takes down his ex-teammate Pains. And on the other side of the map, Fountain side, Bouncers getting shot from all over. This one's going to go the way of Blackhawk down, I believe. And that's That's going to put them 3-2 up now. Map 2 here, Ton. First map, very, very convincing. Second map, a little bit closer as Maradona trying to claw their way back into this one a little bit. But Black Hawk Down, I mean, you got to look at that kill. 20 kills there. But Marsh just slaying out.
Yeah, he really is. He really, really is. I think it was an important round for Black Hawk Down there. I think if Maradona get 3 in a row, you got to feel as if the momentum is swung in their favour. But Black Hawk Down, stop the bleeding. Shot Grenade's going to come in at Welding. I'd imagine they'll be the same on Fountains as well. Going to make this fight over towards Pistons that a little bit more interesting.
See how the teams utilise these. Obviously fantastic for cutting off routes and stopping pushes. And actually, you know, this could work in Maradona's favour if they can stop that push coming through the open side. They just shot grenade the middle entrance there. They might actually be able to do pretty well, but Crisis straight away getting pushed through. Can't do anything about it. Has to use that shot grenade to stop the push, and he actually had to have a teammate come back and escort him out of that as well, which is going to mean that map pressure elsewhere is also falling.
Yep,
middle, looks to be Black Hawks down. Yep, and this is going to be a push coming through now. Strikers has called this out.
It's a lot of Lancer fire though. Marsh should be dead to rights, really. Needs help to deal with Pains, and he will get that help. Pains will be down. As he said, they get control of Pistons. It allows them to get control of the map. It ultimately allows them to get control of E. Dragon's going to have to back on down. He do well to get out of this one, but he's going to do more than just get out of it. My goodness me, Dragons! In such tight conditions, he somehow finds a way. Pains is the only one here, but I say that, Little Bounces is here too. Little Bounces is going to go down. Pains is going to find one down of his own. I don't think that's going to be enough for the round. The crossfire's coming in from E as well. Crisis has got some running to do. He's going to drop. Marco will follow. Black Hawk down. That's a big round off a big play out of Dragons.
Yep, huge, huge play. Puts them on tournament point as well. That's something we got to mention. One more round and they're going to be your victors. Your first place team. So look for them to give this everything now as they go into what should be a very, very entertaining round.
Incense going down on either side of things. Who's going to use the utility better? Dragons is having a game. So is Marsh, my goodness. Maradona have stayed here, even though they mostly have been outslayed. They've stayed within touching distance, but I may be expecting maybe a little bit more out of Maradona this week, but you got to say Black Hawk down look impressive.
Yeah, I don't think this really is anything to fault Maradona for. This is Black Hawk Down playing some amazing Gears of War, some fantastic Gears of War. Shot Grenade's going to come down for a second. That'll help Crisis as he picks up one now. He's got to turn though and try and find a second. He's not able to. And you can see the fight going down on both sides. There's a 1v1 at the E hill, a 1v1 over here at the D hill. Marsh versus Bouncers on screen. Flashbang's going to go out from Bouncers. Marsh will dodge. Swarm Domination will tick for just a second. Great shot coming in from Marsh. Pains though, not able to do anything at either side. And that is going to be the tournament, Chris. 5-2. Black Hawk Down looking fantastic.
That was so clean from Black Hawk Down. Fantastic from them. Dragons and Marsh are back to play. We didn't really see too much from them last week, but a little bit of practice through the week and things are looking rosy. Look at the top 2 kill leaders on that Black Hawk Down squad. What was it? Like 50 kills between them.
Yep.
You can't really say much more than that. You know, Maradona, we'll see them in later tournaments, of course. They did very, very well to win last week, but it felt like Black Hawk Down were very much a class above a lot of players this week. A very, very much a class above. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier in the tournament that we don't quite have that super team yet. You know, if you have to put some pennies on one team, this would be the one that I'd recommend for sure. They look fantastic today. We can't really say anything more than that. You know, other than massive congratulations to them. Good to see them back firing on all cylinders and playing some amazing gears. It's a spectacle not just for Europe but for everyone watching from around the world, right? So it's really good to see top European teams back at it again.
Absolutely. We said last week that potentially this could be something that could happen as time will go on. They will get better as they start practicing again together. Let's have a look at the bracket to see how they found their way to being champions here in week number 2 of the EGL Open Series. Split number 2. course, Black Hawk Down all the way from the quarterfinals. I think, going up against Morningstar Gaming and finding that game as well, you feel as if whoever wins that goes into this grand final, don't they? They really do. And then that was a 2-1 game, a very close game. Oh, actually, I believe it was 2-0. Actually, if I'm talking absolute rubbish, but so Black Hawk Down.
It was 2-0.
They've walked through this. Phenomenal from them.
They've played some fantastic gears, to be honest with you. You can't say much more than that. Their opposition have been strong. Tony's Emotions perhaps didn't give the best showing in that semi-final, but they beat some fantastic teams along the way as well. Other side of the bracket, you got to look at Maradona's route as well. There were questions last week about did they have the easier bracket. I think this time they played some real tough teams. I think VYE, they looked real strong earlier in the tournament, and they gave Maradona a fantastic game. So I think the questions that were asked of Maradona last week have been answered. Yes, they're a good team. Yes, they're here to stay. Yes, they deserve to be up in this top 4, top 2. But Black Hawk Down, credit where it's due. They were absolutely the best team this week.
Yeah, no question about it. Just outslayed, outplayed, and just looked like the best team in Europe right now. And I think it's just, we seen the player from Maradona last week. They looked so good in that grand finals against Elegance. Elegance dropping out early this week, though. I would like to see them maybe bounce back and win number 3 next week, of course. And they will have a chance to do so. Maybe the adaptation with a new map coming in. Is that something that could maybe throw a spanner in the works in their direction? Is, Vito's, they're all going to change up a little bit now, of course, with this new map coming in. It does change things around. Do you think it's going to be a case of maybe looking from their point of view and sort of saying, right, okay, well, let's adapt to what's going on here. We had a chance to see Foundation. We know what teams are good at it. Let's get rid of it. Is that an issue for them? Potentially. I'm not sure, but I mean, Black Hawk Down just look good on every single map we've seen them on, albeit we only really seen them on Vasgar and Foundation. So I don't know if that's just permanent bans next week. Maybe they're just fantastic at that map, but what a performance by them. And hopefully we can see more of the teams who were at the top towards the end of last split, of course, and towards the beginning of this split, up there with them and fighting for those positions.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. You mentioned Elegance. They had one bad map. It wasn't even that bad, right? It was a 5-3. It was a close game.
Yeah.
And, the team that beat them, Chomp, they're actually a good team, right? Like, they've been playing together for a while. They've brought in T Precision, a player from a while ago, a lot of you will remember. And, he's been playing well. I've scrimmed with him myself. Can't say it's my fault they've won, but, he's been playing well when I've seen him play. So I'm not surprised that they've given, Breaker & Co. a tough game there. And I'm not surprised to see, a team that is supposedly, one of our top 4 teams go out early, because it's a best of 1 at the end of the day. You do well in one map, that's it, right? You're out, or you're through. So we'll see him. We'll see him again, I'm sure. And we'll see some other teams, I'm sure, breaking through.
Absolutely. M-Star Gaming go on to lose to the winners of the tournament eventually. It looked like a close game between those two. Closer than what we've seen in the final, to be fair. So it'll be interesting to see how they go on as well. Look, Phelpsy and Co. got into the tournament as well. Had to go up against M-Star Gaming early as well. It'll be interesting to see how they go. If they do continue to enter the tournament, I'd love to see them do so. The more better players in here, the better for me. I just want to see competition at the top. That's what everybody wants to see. It's what the whole community wants to see. And hopefully we continue with the numbers. Thank you to everybody who did sign up once again this week. And potential changes could be coming through. Of course, we have seen what's gone on the NA side of things. We want to sort of have a discussion around maps if we can, have a discussion around respawn time. As we spoke at the beginning of the show, we don't want to change too much too quick, because we can't identify what kind of game we're playing, but we're going to try and accommodate as best we can. And if you guys are going to keep signing up, we will accommodate to you. But it was a fantastic night. Really, really good gears. Black Hawk Down look impressive. Through any closing words?
No, just thank you again to all the teams for coming out. 35, an increase on last week, a +5 for this week. If we can do that again next week, we're shooting for the stars, aren't we? We're in a real good position with 35, 40 teams, and Gears Esports take notice. We've got teams over here in Europe ready to play. Just keep at it, Europe. You're doing real well. We've got some fantastic teams on the go. I'm just looking forward to see next week. I believe Toby probably be back in here. I'll give him the hot seat back, and I'll get to watch it. So it'll be more interesting for me as well. I can actually see a lot more of these teams playing all the way through the tournament. So yeah, thanks for having us on, Chris. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure working with you and EGL, of course.
And Matt.
Yeah,
and Matt.
Forward to more weeks.
Give Matt.
Matt's all right. Matt's pretty good too.
That's it. Your cam's getting turned off immediately. I want to see you enter, mate. You're more than welcome, as is Toby. And now we've got the PC crossplay. Why isn't he in? I want to see him in the grand finals.
You want to see me enter? I'm crap. I'm going to be honest. I'm too old for this.
Oh,
If this
mate.
had been here 10 years ago, I'd have still been crap then. So it's... I don't know. Get Elliot and get Toby, and they can play instead. I'll watch.
Okay. Well, we'll let them come in, and you can commentate with me, mate. I'm not much good either. But once again, thank you to everybody who did come to hang out in the stream this evening. Hope the games were fantastic. Hope the changes have been good for you guys as well. Please keep up the attendance. It's fantastic to see for us as well that the effort that we're putting in is being received by the community well, and we really do appreciate it. But week number 3 will be coming back next week, same time at 5 p.m. Quarterfinals onwards. We'll see you then. Week number 3. Catch you then.